Hey, we're live. Hello, chat. I see some people are already active in there. I'm already active in Dark Souls. This is supposed to be my big long stream that I'm going to grind a lot of Dark Souls through, and in order to keep things entertaining, where did he go? He dropped out. I had there he is. Okay. A bunch of indies are going to be coming on to talk about random events, the game, their current projects, what they're currently reading, and stuff like that. Uh, there's no set schedule. It's a variety stream. And right here at the start, I've got a man crazy enough to actually enjoy Dark Souls 2. And he came on to help me not suck at this game. So, hello, AC Pritchard. Hello, Bat Sauce. And hello, Wrangler. If you've watched my previous streams, you might be familiar with Akaso. You want to, don't be afraid to show your stuff. By the way, I don't see a Purging Stone, man. You're on, Akaso, you're on mute. Gay Robot, you know exactly why the souls are so dark. This game was created when Linkin Park was popular. All right, well, maybe at some point Akaso will figure out how to unmute. So, I have something I kind of want to complain about. I feel like I've been a bit misled about the quality of a certain book. Because I've been reading Fourth Wing, and everyone was just like, Fourth Wing. Uh, and like, it's just fiction for women. It is like bog standard, romance for women, and does a lot of things right, and it's popular for good reason. Look, I'll be doing a full review on it, but it does not deserve this, like, oh, I'm having Vietnam flashbacks, except I'm a cute cat kind of reaction that people like to meme about it. Aksa, have you found your unmute button yet? I'm sitting here reading chat. Or that's like a love triangle thing disguised as an epic fantasy. Well, I wouldn't even say it's disguised. It is a fantasy epic. Like what? Like I guess with the exception of like it's bizarrely modern because the author like didn't bother to research things. Oh, screwed that up. Um, like it's just a standard good book as far as like popular books that would hit a bestseller list that go. Mr. Pritchard, I thought you were coming on the stream. I mean, Fourth Wing is definitely not the kind of book I would ever write. Like, possibly for any amount of money, I probably wouldn't write it. Oh, you scammers. My God. Why are they so bad? Oh my lord. Did they take the oil out of these barrels?
Okay, I'm here.
Welcome back, Akaso. I was doing better while you were gone. Thank you for the like and comment, John. I need all of the likes and comments and subscribes I can get.
Pretty much
Dude,
all the barrels have
those
gunpowder in them.
It's like 7 throws around actually detonating the oil. If I don't figure out how to get rid of this curse, I'm actually going to lose my mind.
The merchant.
Which merchant? It doesn't sell anything.
She doesn't.
No. Well, not nothing. Well, look, buy. Where do you see a purging stone? None of these are purging stones.
Oh, yeah, no, that's a Pharaoh's Lockston. I'm dumb. She sells them after she comes to Majula.
So am I just stuck with 50% HP because of a DLC boss that flew in on a freaking griffin?
That's not a DLC boss. The Pursuer is your base game boss.
Okay, so this dude that flew in on a griffin just halved my HP and there's literally nothing I can do?
Oh, you died to the blue stab, didn't you?
Yeah, I died to the guy up there. And he cursed me, and I've had 50% HP ever since.
Yeah, no, you just have to tough it out until you find a stone, a purging stone. You could go a different route. There's another zone you can go. But I don't remember if there's an easy one for this early. The Tower of Flame is difficult. You might be able to find the purging stone if you go explore.
Dude, what is with these hollows, man? Why are they so bad?
You could just roll through. No, that they would blow it up.
Oh, God. Intentional handicaps are hallmark of pro Dark Souls players. Yes, sure. I like that excuse, John.
As for the boss, you might have an easier time with him than with the normal enemies. Like, he's barely an enemy.
Okay. It's pretty rare to see a dude run away. So, that's what you meant.
Also, an enemy drops down behind you on the sword.
Thanks. A lot of enemies, apparently.
Wonder if I would say I'm not gonna keep backseating, but I haven't touched this.
Oh, I welcome the backseating, man.
Yeah, I haven't played this game in like 6 years, so whether I remember something that's correct is a good.
Dude, I need more health or more endurance.
Consider unequipping your shield and two-handing the winged spear. You might be able to use it.
All right, so we are supposed to be chatting about things. I'm going to just start grilling everyone that comes on with a simple question.
Sure.
What are you currently reading, Akaso?
I'm reading something, but I don't remember what it was. Yeah, the last 3 days I've been reading my own book. I've been like reading.
All right, you've been doing final edits.
Yeah, I've been reading it start to finish, and I actually did like come across things that I've forgotten since finishing it because it's been like a year. So that's something. I've also been reading. Well, no, I actually stopped reading a Regressor's Tale of Cultivation, not because I dropped it, but because I just kind of stopped. I just got caught up in other stuff. And it's really good, actually. It's a translation, so It's a bit rough in some places, but it's translated from Korean, not Chinese, so the translation is a lot easier. Yeah, it's really good. It really takes full advantage of, how to say, Korean fiction melodrama everywhere. Like every single fucking thing has to have a melodramatic resolution of some kind, and the author like uses that really well, I think. I wouldn't say I would say it's the rare example of like regression fiction where it isn't slop in any kind of way. Because he basically solves the issue of regression, I would say, by making
Oh, and how do you do that? I've read a lot of regressor fiction.
He makes it so that every life actually matters to the protagonist, because, like, yeah, he goes back, but everyone that he's met in that life and all the connections he's made, that's gone. All those people go back to an earlier state and don't know him anymore.
Okay.
So every time he gets reborn, to him, it's basically like everyone dies. And he's the only one who remembers.
So the only regressor thing I keep up on isn't even really a regressor, but do you follow Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint?
No, but I think I've seen like a summary video of it, which isn't much.
Okay, for the record, is there even anything over here, as you recall? Dwarf required ahead? Well, I'm not a dwarf.
Here? No, just on the sword and in the boss room.
Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the merchant and buy a whole bunch of life gems. Now the path is clear, and not reset. The monsters.
Enemies. Yeah.
Gay Robot, I don't think I have the point down emote yet. I am that early in this game.
I don't think the point down is a pickup.
Somebody has messaged me on Twitter. And of course, my phone has lost internet connection.
Open the details for the key.
Oh, it's the blacksmith shop.
Huh. I could swear it was somewhere in my July, not here.
It is not the F key. What's as well last leave? All right, one sec. The invite link needs to get sent to people. Here. All right. I still have to try and do this without an Estus flask. However, I have consumables and a curse, but I'm not like a complete idiot. It's not like I'm sitting on a purging stone, right? What's the separation? That's banish phantoms.
Purging stone is a square with a skull on it.
Okay, I remember that from Dark Souls 1.
And again, check the winged spear if you can use it.
Is it better than the halberd?
Both are good, but the spear is better, I think.
Unable to use
Unable
this
to
item
use it at
effectively
all.
with your present attributes. How much do I need? How much would I need?
I don't know. Check. It should say. Like on the
I
menu
still
edge.
don't have enough. Which of these is the required stat?
That doesn't say. There are 3 pages of details.
Do you know what you're looking at?
That's your stats. Current ones.
Hey, we have another guest to stumble through this game with.
Try crushing a human effigy. It might uncurse you.
I did that at the start of the stream.
No, you
It
burned
just
one.
keeps phantoms away.
Yeah, you burned one. Crushing one is something else.
Crushing one does something else, you say.
It should.
By the way, I'm not able to hear you, Mr. Pritchard.
Actually, give me.
That's all right.
Oh, there you are.
You can always try it.
Oh,
The human
it needs
effigies are not
18.
hard to get.
The spear needs 18 dexterity, and I don't have 18 dexterity.
Oh, where'd you see that?
I have 11 dexterity. It was at the bottom of the inventory.
Okay.
I was watching you play this
Try to
earlier,
and
it just took me back to like watching my brother like speed run it. It is pretty crazy how he had just like everything memorized. I'm just like, holy crap, dude.
oh
Yeah.
my god, it does work. Why is that different? Why is using an effigy different from burning it? I hate that.
The thing that confuses me the most is that cursing works different here. Because in Dark Souls 1, you couldn't get uncursed without a purging stone. I think.
What? Bat Sauce, are you living out of a school bus?
Oh, shit.
That's
Oh, it's a short bus.
I was about to say.
Okay.
There's lore.
Yeah.
There's
What's going on,
lore.
guys? Yeah, there's a little bit of lore.
Welcome on the
No.
stream.
Yeah. I'm super curious to talk about Fourth Wing now that you brought it up.
I'm not done with it.
All right. How far did you get? I have trouble remembering.
So I'm at like the halfway mark. It is after the attack in her bedroom.
Yeah, I mean, you're pretty far, but I mean, like Regular said, it's not boring, so it's definitely got that as a pro.
Yeah, it's also like it might be getting more benefit than it deserves because like my alternative reading is freaking like Aristotle and stuff.
True.
Like Aristotle's
Entertainment.
Politics, very interesting book. However, very dry.
I can imagine.
No, but I don't know. I thought like every character in there was pretty bad. Every character you came across was really annoying, especially the main character. But we don't have to talk about it if you don't wanna.
I've read very little of Fourth Wing. Like I ripped a PDF of it just to like give it a once over, and I couldn't. In my short time reading, like half an hour to an hour, I kept going back to like academy arcs in web novels or sects in Jansha novels. It's the same exact feeling I got from Fourth Wing.
It probably literally is.
Yeah.
One thing that really strikes me about the storytelling in this game is, like, for example, when you consume that item, it restored your humanity, right? Like, the way they word everything is in a very specific way because each of your deaths are canon. Like, they actually happen in the story. But they never, like, tell you that. They play it off like it's a video game, but it's all actually one continuous, like, linear path, you know?
Yeah.
It's interesting. They build it into the world. So like a lot of people when they're like, "Oh, resurrection," that I will DNA a book instantly if they resurrect a character because death is meaningless and the stakes go away completely. It's like, well, no, there's good examples to do it. You build it into your world. Why does the resurrection work? If it turns readers off, it's probably because it wasn't like set up properly or something, you know.
The one thing that annoys me about Dark Souls 2 specifically is that you can't just give Lucatiel an effigy.
I'm probably like many people on Dark Souls where I know like 100% of the lore and never played the game.
Yeah.
Like I played Dark Souls 1 for 5 minutes and I was like, I can't do this. I'm gonna like get stressed the fuck out.
I started with Dark Souls 2, and like when I started, I already knew most of the story. Because you get one video about the lore on YouTube, and it's easy watching because it's just sound. You can just listen to it.
Yeah, Dark Souls 2 is kind of the weakest when it came to lore, just because it's pretty much a repeat of Dark Souls 1 with a little bit of
disagree
here and there.
I disagree because the focus on the linking of the fire and stuff, that's weaker. But all the stuff with the shards of Manus and the queens and the kings, I think that's really nice. I think it's really done.
Did it expand on it, like on the lore? Because that's the point of a sequel, is to expand. So.
Well, Dark Souls is a cycle, and so it's like Dark Souls 2 is the second cycle. So that's what I meant, but like repeating. A lot of things kind of happens similarly.
Well, Dark Souls 2 is kind of a second. It's the second cycle we see, but it's been a bunch of cycles since Dark Souls 1, I would say.
And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's like the weakest, which I love.
Thank you for entertaining the chat, by the way.
That's a very common opinion that Dark Souls 2 is the worst, but also very good.
Wait, that's what? That's unpopular opinion?
It's generally a common opinion that both in gameplay and in story, Dark Souls 2 is the weakest of the trilogy, but also still better than most.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got Dark Souls 1 obviously started that stuff, and then you got Bloodborne, which Bloodborne is criminally, I don't know if you could say underrated, but like that story is absolutely best tier.
It's the opposite of underrated. Bloodborne has been trending on Twitter every month for 10 years.
Yeah. Well, it's just, I don't know. Well, we say Souls-like, I don't know. Even if it trends all the time, like I still don't think like Bloodborne's anywhere near as popular as the Souls game.
If you think,
because it's on console only.
If you think about it, God of War is the same genre as Dark Souls. It just holds your hand a lot.
That's like antithesis to Souls. Like
they took, but like, look, the same idea. You're running around in like the third person. You got all these different weapons.
In the broadest possible sense.
Broadest possible way.
ARPG.
Yeah.
But I would say God of War is a lot closer to DMC. Like it's a lot more of a character action game than a pure ARPG.
Right. They're trying to be like, they're trying. God bless their hearts, they're trying.
Wait, no, you mean Sony God of War?
Yeah, like Kratos.
Yeah, when I hear God of War, I think like God of War 2.
Okay.
I have never played a God of War game. That bugs me, but I was always like an Xbox guy.
Yeah, Xbox over here, and Nintendo mainly, actually.
Yeah.
But
I mean, like everybody's a Nintendo guy. Even Xbox players.
Nintendo will still be here when all the others fall away. So
I've never owned a Nintendo console in my life.
You will.
What? How? Like not even a Game Boy?
Oh dear.
No, I mean I played Nintendo games. I played like Super Robot Wars, and I played a ROM hack of Pokemon Fire Red, but I played it on my phone.
Ooh, that's some good shit. That whole culture with the ROM hacks, bro. Oh, it's so good.
Pokemon Sage is better than most.
Uranium, come on, all day. Uranium. Pokemon
Uranium is good, but I kind of
there's a Pokemon Uranium.
Yeah, dude, it's a post-apocalyptic Pokemon with like zombie Pokemon and shit. It's so sick.
Super Robot Wars mentions Swelvish Trombe Override.
Super Robot Warrior. I think I feel like I've played that. What was it called? Super what?
Super Robot Wars. The newest ones are actually like officially translated on PC. But everything before Super Robot Wars V didn't get an official Western release. So a couple of them got fan translations, like A Portable for PSP.
Yeah.
Either way, the console will... Sorry. I was going to say the console war kind of is like dead now.
It's pointless, yeah.
They're all kind of the Unicouncil now, in a way.
Yeah.
Aside from Nintendo, but even Nintendo is kind of like, no, I have my Switch, it's a lot of the same stuff. I'm seeing it. It's just there's a lot more Nintendo stuff, but like, no, the Unicouncil is there. It's crazy.
Kind of sad that Super Robot Wars is basically dead now that the key personnel, one key guy quit or something. He either quit or he died. I don't know.
Try Detect over here saying, "Congrats, the game gets worse from here."
Yeah, I saw that shit. That was funny.
Is there literally nothing except the boss in this cave?
No
loot except the
just
key?
Yeah, just the boss and the key.
It is absolutely crazy the slog you have to go through to uncover all the 100% of the lore for like a given boss. It involves the entire game.
I mean, the last giant gets kind of handed to you on a platter lore wise.
That's fair. I'm just like, I guess in particular, like is it the Blade Dancer in the third one? There's one that's like, either way, there's like
the dancer of the Boreal Valley.
Yes, her.
And then you have the thing with the Outrider Knights and them turning into those beasts that are in the files, only in the game files, called Hounds of Tindalos. Right. And then it suddenly explains why she comes out of a hall, because that's how Hounds of Tindalos appear.
Right. You see what I'm saying? But like, I just remembered specifically, it was the one with it was like the dragon looking boss. I forget the name from Dark Souls 3.
Ancient Dragon.
Not the Dragon
King.
Rider either. Not the Dragon Rider either. It's like it's like an old king that got corrupted, and they're the dragon's like cradling their baby that's not there, and they're blind. Yeah. All the lore for that boss is just like it involves the entire game, and you have to like.
He's cradling an invisible baby that is presumably invisible because Priscilla was invisible in DS1.
Right, and so exactly. So like, you have to. So in just a cursory playthrough, you're like, oh, I'm gonna go kill this fucking boss in this cave. Like, screw this boss. I'm coming for it. And then you kill it. It just looks like it has a gimp arm. You don't think anything of it. You take it out. Moving on. You do
hear the baby crying.
That's true.
And then you hear the gore noises when he squashes it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the Souls games in general, like figuring out the lore is like the other part of the game.
I know. I love it. And it's not required. Like,
Miyazaki basically said that's the point. Also, Craig, you have the spear equipped, and you're increasing your equip load for no reason.
Oh, good point.
Pleb.
Because it makes your roll worse.
Hey, I killed the giant in one attempt, thank you very much, and the summon did nothing.
The summon tanked for you. The summon took his attention away from you.
That's a feat. Imagine saying that.
90% of what a summon does.
Imagine saying that in real life. Like, I killed a giant on my first attempt, implying that like there's more than one attempts. Like, what? Just saying that, like, that just is a testament to the lore of Dark Souls, man. I could go on and on about that. It's crazy. Dark Souls is just a good game in general. Just period. So, Bat Sauce, I've been finishing up your cover over here, buddy.
Gracias, senor.
What's this book called again? I forgot.
Tale of the Dunce Whisperer.
Tale of the Dunce Whisperer. All right. I'll be sure to put lettering on there.
Thank you. I think the book does need that. Cover, yeah.
What do you use for typesetting? Photoshop?
A combination of Photoshop and Krita. Yes.
Yeah, I've been doing my typesetting with GIMP because Krita's typesetting is ass.
It is, yes.
And I tried to figure out GIMP and I struggled. And then
it's
a weird name.
I have yet to figure out GIMP, but I know enough to use it, so I just kind of suffer.
Dude, I am convinced that GIMP is actually secretly produced by Adobe, and they release it for free. And the reason it's so terrible is to convince people to pay for Adobe.
Some of GIMP's features are really good, but very few of them.
It's real shit.
It's like GIMP is the autism project of graphical processing programs.
Yeah.
I've heard Krita is pretty much just as good as Adobe. Photoshop.
Krita is great for everything that isn't typesetting.
Yeah, and Photoshop does do things that Krita doesn't. Like Krita is more focused on, like,
Our
Photoshop is
animation.
not intuitive, right? Photoshop's
No.
not intuitive, so Krita's a good place to start actually for anybody. But to get
Photoshop.
into the real gritty Photoshop is probably just superior in a lot of ways.
Krita is good for art and easy to start with, but a lot of people use what the fucking thing? Clip Studio.
Clip Studio. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have that. I don't use it, but I have it. At least you can pay like a one-time fee for it.
Not that this is a bad conversation, but Mr. Pritchard, don't you have something to be shilling right now?
Yeah,
I do. My book is coming out August 15th, and there's gonna be an audiobook. Go fucking pre-order it if you can find it on Amazon.
Hell yeah.
Well, you should next time I die, get the links in the private chat so I can post them to the YouTube chat.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Give me a second.
And Bats, tell us about Dunce Whisperer, brother.
I
know
was
you
gonna ask
have a
him more about
limited.
his book. What's the title? What's
What's
it about? I mean,
Mine.
Dust Whisperer ain't coming out for a hot minute, so
Okay.
it's even really worth talking about.
Gotcha.
Mine is in one tagline. Cyberpunk Jane Wick gets isekai'd.
Yeah.
It's a severe oversimplification, but that's the best. Like for the feeling of the book, it's the best tagline, I would say.
All right.
I also completely shamelessly ripped off Star Sector for my Magic system.
You had to copy something. I mean, there's no
wanna
such
point
thing as an
out
original idea.
that Akazo's book was originally on Royal Road.
It still is. It's only getting stopped like the day before release.
He got picked up by an actual publisher because the book was good.
Because someone recommended me in some Discord. I should still ask them who did it, but they probably won't tell me.
That's crazy. What publishing company?
Moonquill. For the record, they have an open submission thing. So if you want to try, you can just submit.
That's really good to know. We need to spread more of that around for sure.
I think they also did a couple comic adaptation for Webtoon for some other novels. Like Lord of Goblins is their big flagship, and that they also did the adaptation, I think. Or was it Aethon? I don't know. I know they partnered with Aethon for something, which is also an indie publisher.
By the way, I'm trying to find where to use the soldier key. All I know is it's somewhere in the Forest of Giants.
There was a door next to the giant boss room that you couldn't open.
No, I tried that.
Okay. Maybe there's a
Oh,
shortcut.
I know where it is. Okay. This is gonna take. Okay. By the way, Mr. Dark Souls 2 enjoyer, how do I bridge this gap?
You have to sprint and then press in the L3 stick.
Wait a minute. There's a sprint button?
Wait, no.
Ooh.
You sprint, and while sprinting, you press roll.
Isn't they're the same button?
Whoa.
Okay, then in that case, sprint and then click in our left L3.
Oh,
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
okay.
there you go. There we go.
Yeah, that.
And it's just crazy. It's just crazy.
It's really jank.
Well, no, it's just they do that on purpose, though.
Yeah,
know
you're
what I
not
mean?
supposed to be jumping around in Souls, I know.
Well,
But it's
and
still jank, even if it's on purpose.
yeah. And have you heard what they I think some of their responses to people when they complain about bosses doing impossible things, moving.
What, like?
You
Like what?
they would just it's the source of the whole meme of get good, because that came out of the whole idea that Dark Souls does have moments that are supposed to be like the game is cheating, literally.
Yeah.
Like your jumping is way more limited to like other people's jumping and running. You know what I mean? So
True.
they give you the ability to do it, but they purposely make it unintuitive so that it rewards high skilled players who just like grit through it and figure out these unintuitive controls. You know what I mean?
Craig, what is your strength index?
13.
13. And actually, I'm gonna open the wiki so I don't have to bother you all the time. What was the fucking thing? I remember power stancing something early on in my playthrough. Yeah, broken straight sword. You can power stance those. Try that.
A broken
you don't
straight
wanna-
sword.
Yeah, power stancing broken straight swords is actually pretty good early on. Or short swords, depending on the requirement. You can
How do I
short swords.
power stance?
You have to equip one in both left and right hand, and then press some combination of buttons. I have to check. Try
Yeah, it's
equipping two short swords if you have them. Or
You said you've never played, but you know a lot of the lore, right?
no, I played all but the first one. I started with 2.
Oh, okay. And Bats, you?
It was
You
me.
said-
Yeah,
you
never
you
played.
know? Okay, but you know lore.
Oh yeah,
Do
big
you-
time.
do you- I know quite a bit, but admittedly, it was like I checked it out one time, so I like knew everything about it for about a week until I forgot. So
Understandable.
yeah. Is there like a lot of Norse and Celtic stuff in here?
There's some.
I'm-
I mean,
Yeah,
Some. There's
noticing
not much.
some, yeah.
It's a lot of fantasy, medieval Europe.
Gotcha.
Dark
A lot
Souls
of
2
the-
Dark Souls 2 out of all the 3 games is the most high fantasy, I would say.
Dark Souls
More
2.
than Elden Ring.
Ooh,
Out
Elden
of the 3 classic Souls games, I mean.
Okay, yeah.
and a lot of the Norse like influence on it is kind of more just shared influence from other stuff.
Yeah, it's just kind of bleed over.
I mean,
see.
like
So it's
Berserk has the main motivation for like or influence. Yeah, there's some Norse influence in Berserk, so therefore it bleeds over into this.
Do power stance. What the fuck do you press? What's this guide? Tells you everything about power stancing, but not how to do it.
Yeah, guys, I just wanted to hop in and say what's up. I got to go pick up the kiddo, so
Thanks for dropping in.
Yeah.
See ya.
Don Edge on Amazon. He didn't plug his book. Go check out Don Edge on Amazon.
Don't.
It's good stuff. It's like a dystopian AI, future. Everything he's told me about it sounds pretty awesome and like a new take on it. Look forward to reading it personally. But yeah, I ask about the Norse and Celtic stuff because that's actually in my own story that I'm attempting to plug here.
I've got a whole nation of Hyperborean Giga Chad Vikings in my other web novel that didn't get picked up.
Ooh, Hyperborean
they're-
Giga Chad.
They're not white. They're like plaster white. They're completely snow unnaturally.
Yeah.
And
Bro,
they're
excuse
all-
me. What is this night?
Dude,
It's
I
a
was
night
just
you're
gonna
not
say
supposed
I
to fight.
remember this battle. I
You're
remember
not
this
sup-
freaking
You're
battle.
not supposed to fight that guy yet.
It's a pretty tough battle if I remember.
He
right.
also will not chase you. I'm pretty sure.
No, he won't. No, he acts like a
where was
knight.
I?
For sure.
Right. So my quote unquote Vikings, which they are not Vikings, they actually use the term Viking correctly, as in go away from the
They
homeland.
go on a
Ocean.
Viking.
Viking.
Yeah.
The Viking.
And so they're a society that ended up kind of becoming. They're basically stuck in their homeland because they. Evolution works differently in that setting, so that like if you live in an extreme environment, you will relatively quickly adapt to that environment within a couple generations. So that if these Boreans travel down south to more temperate climates, they will eventually become less extremophilic, so to speak.
Yeah.
And they're all they're ruled by this immortal king from a previous Kalpa, or a previous major era of the world. Like, before the laws of reality settled in the way they are in the story as it is, that guy was around killing gods and shit. And they're all descended from him and his like battle companions, so they all have some immortal blood in them. So if one of
sick.
them dies and has like sufficient willpower, they can awaken it and just get back up.
From their bloodline, right?
Yeah, they just get back up, and the wounds that killed them are healed with living ice that looks like glacier ice when it's empowered by magic, and they become Draugr. They become Draugr.
Cool.
I can't pronounce that properly, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I have artwork of one of them, because one of my main characters is a Borean. Yeah, here it is.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it sounds like you paid a lot of tribute to Viking heritage through the magic system, particularly.
It's part of the magic system. I have the magic system in that story is like 6 magic systems stapled together.
Yeah.
It's a lot of. I basically operate on the logic with that story that all magic functions within the laws of the world in one way or another, and it's just different ways of interpreting and working with those laws. So you have like quasi Shinto people, and you have quasi Chinese, you have quasi Germanic, and they all operate in the same magic system, just with different systems and understandings that people themselves invented.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm kind of like on the opposite end of the spectrum, where I have my, it's the same magic system from my novel, but which is just a pretty straightforward thing. Like, magic is tied to objects, pretty straightforward.
Makes sense. Yeah,
just straight up. And so you have to find, you can't really learn it. All you can do is find objects that are already inherently magical and kind of learn how to use those, right? So that gives me the freedom to have all these different types of quote unquote superpowers that can rise up. My world is as old as it needs to be. So essentially, this comic that I'm putting out is a point in time in the story where my Viking-like people, which are basically the closest thing, that would be the orcs, because they like live in the polar regions. They're like ice orcs.
It's very close,
yeah. So I was just like, they would probably be the best fitting for Vikings. And my idea, instead of ingraining it into the world itself, which admittedly it is very heavily in other places that you might see, which I might not have even realized I put it there. But in this particular story, I'm like following the real like inscription from the Kensington runestones. Like, I went to the museum there and I read the translation and learned all about the origin of that runestone, and it just like inspired my imagination. I'm just like, what happened to those Vikings? So I thought of like my own rendition of that within my own world, and kind of explored a little bit. It's pretty fun. Not exactly Dark Souls, but I do lay a bunch of lore out along the way as I tell the story. It's one thing that
I can just pepper in lore where it fits, and then I go back and make the connections as appropriate.
Right. Like, for example, the ship is called a Skystjerne, and Skystjerne, Skystjerne, which is like Norse for sky star, like star in the sky star, and that's the flying longship. They travel to the New World on a flying ship. So
of course,
I have fun with it still. It's not just.
I haven't actually specified how old my setting is in the aforementioned.
Right.
It's called the Retribution Engine. The other novel.
Yeah.
And the one that's getting published is called Chernowcaster.
Sick.
So in Retribution Engine, I haven't specified how old the world is, and in Chernowcaster, I haven't done that either, but I have specified how old the dominant civilization is, which is around 6,000 years.
Right.
Because that's how old it is, because it's an arbitrary big number.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's why I just say I'm just like it's as old as it needs to be. I'm being pretty transparent with my own
Yeah.
rules of my world, and I try to
human
stick
civilization at large goes so far back that it goes into prehistory. You can't realistically plot it all out.
Okay, yeah, we talking Göbekli Tepe now?
Oh yeah, let's talk
Yeah,
some Tepe.
sure. In Chernowcaster, you had in Chernowcaster before there's the current era is the era of the banishment wheel, and the 7 spokes system, which governs all magic. Because the wheel is built to keep out the influence of outer gods like your Cthulhu's and whatnot, and your aliens and shit. And 2, it's to make sure that everyone can access the magic system, because before you had to get a blessing to access the magic system. So it kind of equalizes. I can't pronounce properly. Fucking stupid ESL. Equalizes things by way of making it so you have gangsters throwing fireballs at each other.
Oh hell yeah.
And in Retribution Engine, it's kind of just here's how far back history goes, and we don't know how far it really goes, because there's been like 3 different events of Dark Ages and loss of knowledge and shit.
Yeah. I made my world basically to be just a sandbox to generate stories in.
Basically,
yeah. Because I can go into detail with characters and then just have the world stay simple. I
operate on graphics card rules for my world building.
Explain that a little. I'm unfamiliar.
I render what is going to be in
you have to be kidding me right now.
What?
I render what I expect readers to look into. Like if I don't expect readers to see it, I don't bother. Unless it like takes my interest, because I write for myself as much as I write for readers.
Okay, I do that too. I didn't know the technical term for it, I guess.
It's not a technical term, I just made it up.
Oh. All right.
It's the same. It's in Retribution Engine, I have dungeons like your typical gamey dungeons where there's a dungeon core running everything. And those operate on GPU rules. So if people go inside, go behind the scenes to like take a back path or something, because the dungeon core let them, then the dungeon core starts struggling because it has to render out all of its internal mechanisms for normal physics to operate with.
Right.
They're basically cheating the world, so to speak.
Oh, that's like Iceberg. That's like show, don't tell, right?
Yeah.
Like, and only write what you need to write, basically. Yeah. No, I know what you're saying. Yeah. No, that's a great general rule. I mean,
You've got to be kidding me.
Because if you try to world build everything, you're just going to be world building forever.
So you're better off like planting all these seeds, and then like
tending to them as necessary. Yeah.
I gotcha. Yeah.
Okay,
Iceberg, man.
Can you see the private chat?
Me?
ASOS. Yeah.
Oh.
No, fucking damn it.
Roll off the edge.
Yeah, I can. Yep.
Perfect. Craig, roll off the edge so your gem can take effect, or get off the platform, whatever. Run away.
Oh dear God, where did that come from?
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna send you a link to the art and a link to a thing where the art.
Dude, why do I not deal any damage?
Yeah.
Because you haven't upgraded your weapon at all.
That's fair.
Does the blacksmith all? Oh, thank God, it rested me here.
You have the key now. Just take your shit and run away.
Yes. Why can I not? You again?
Dennis, notice that this is the guy selling armor in Majula. So it's this chapter and then the next one and then in the next one he shows up. They're short chapters.
Sick. Okay, yeah. You got the runes in there too. I've been putting runes on everything.
I used witch staves for the hammer and then Aegis Helmer for the forehead.
Okay, sick.
And he actually uses the Aegis Helmer properly.
Yeah.
Like as an amplifier for his aura, so he casts people to their knees just by being there.
That's cool. I like that. I'm gonna look at this other one here. Hold on. Let's see. I'm not seeing it. Oh, it's just.
238 is just text, and 239 has the actual artwork.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. No, yeah.
Also because my chapters are really fucking short because of the serialized schedule.
Yeah. Now this dude here totally looks like the actual Dragon Rider guy that I mentioned earlier from Dark Souls, the one that like uses lightning and stuff, has the crazy Dragon Ball Z hair.
Oh, the Nameless King. Yeah, he does have Nameless King hair.
Yeah. It's
I said the Nameless King is a reference for hair. So.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. That was. Yeah.
His hammer was originally a spear that was used to kill. His hammer was the big hammer, not the floating one. It was originally a spear called Deicide, and when he changed it into a hammer, he renamed it to Superbia. Because it's an ancient magic weapon made from a meteorite, so obviously it's shapeshifting.
And that is an amazing idea.
Which of these should I be maining?
Should
I be maining the winged spear that I can't actually use yet?
The halberd is really good.
I definitely can't use the halberd.
Give me a second. Equip a short sword in your right hand. The short sword on the second from the left. Yeah, that one. And then a broken sword in your left hand instead of your shield. And now press square and triangle at the same time.
Xbox controls, dude.
Okay, not that one. There's a button combination, but I can't find it for power stancing. Buttons. L1.
You mean L1, R1?
Just L1, try.
That's a different attack.
That's weird. Try pressing both L and R1 at the same time. No, that's what the fuck. How to
fucking with me, Akuso.
I'm not. I was power stancing.
Okay, so while Akuso is failing to Google this, I want to chime in on the Age of Fantasy settings. Because my web novel is like officially like the year 737 of the Common Calendar. And I've never at any point explained what caused the calendar to be founded at that date. Mm-hmm. Like, the only thing truly known is the wizard is older than the calendar. And nothing else has been shared.
I found it. You press the same buttons for two-handing. No? What the fuck?
So I just two-handed it.
Amazing. I looked up how to power stance. Yeah. They told me press the two-hand.
Amazing. I love that. Yeah.
Amazing.
You gotta love when that shit happens too. Like, I looked it up directly and it's still.
How do you power? Yeah, basically every time I search how do you power stance, it just tells you that you need to have a bunch more stats.
No. That's I just had a good joke.
Hold Y or triangle by default.
I mean, I was able to switch which one I'm two-handing.
Okay, so that means either you are not using two compatible weapons for power stancing or you don't have enough strength. Try equipping both broken swords. Yeah, now you're power stancing. I can tell by the pose.
How is this a power stance?
Hold Y again. Now you're power stancing.
Okay, man.
Yeah,
So-
and while you're power stancing, with R1 you do normal one-handed attacks, and with L1 you do both. Now try upgrading one of them at least.
Okay. I can make both of them. I can make one a +2, or I can make both a +1. Which do you
both-
recommend?
make one of them a +2. And then make sure that it's your right-handed one, since you'll be using it for both. Thrusting sword is also good.
Well, I'm already committed because I used my my Titanite.
Yeah. This is not a troll, by the way. Like, broken straight swords are surprisingly good in Dark Souls 2. Well, they're not explicitly good, but they're okay. They're usable early on. Like, you're not gonna be taking this to the end game.
I side with Gay Robot in the chat about getting the Guts Sword from Berserk.
I don't know where you get
Nah,
that.
man. I'm a dodge dude.
Ah, word.
I don't want to put in
Dodge-
enough points to strength to use a Zweihander.
Yeah, dodge is historically the meta in most Souls games, if I recall right. Like
M
that's how
dash. I'm not trolling. I'm taking into consideration that he has dog shit stats.
Gotcha. Yep.
Broken swords have no requirements, but are still usable, which is like the best option right now.
Word. But whenever possible, always go with the Guts Sword, right?
Also, also upgrade materials are like not hard to use. I mean, not
Yeah.
hard to get at all in DS2. Why are you still going into the? I don't remember. I was gonna ask why you're still going into the forest, but there's a reason. I just don't remember where the zone connects to. Also, you're not getting anywhere from that bonfire. That's a dead end, more or less.
Well, I will get my revenge. God damn it!
No Gay Robot. Real Dark Souls gamers play as deprived using a great club named Girthquake.
Girthquake.
Dude,
Yeah.
I hate like having to relearn the swing patterns to not hit walls every time you change your weapon.
Craig, you know you can just come back later.
No.
Well, where else am I supposed to go right now?
You can
Straight
go back
through.
to Majula and explore a different path.
Don't listen to him, Craig.
You've already beaten the boss.
Oh, is this actually fully explored?
More or less, yeah. This is a dead end. I remember that.
Oh, well then.
Dead
So what kind of
I know
creatures
there's
are those?
something here. There's something
What-
here, but I don't know what.
Are
It's
those
not
turtle
nothing
men?
important.
Turtle people? What are we looking at here?
Turtle Knights.
Dodge right there would have been super nice.
Honestly, Gay Robot, I really like DS2 Blighttown. I really like the Black Gulch. It's a fun zone, I think.
Dark Souls 1 is the only game of the series I've actually beaten.
Dark Souls 1 is also the one with the worst Blighttown, because it runs like shit. Like, genuinely, all the other poison zones are fine. At worst, they're fine.
So isn't there usually like sequencing issues of you have to beat certain like shades before you beat certain bosses?
In Dark Souls 2, you either have to have a soul memory of 1 million or beat 4 major bosses to pass through a certain gate, but that's basically it.
There's usually hidden quests though.
Sort of. Dark Souls 2 has some, but not many.
Oh, because like
Going to-
basically everything with K-Lag is a hidden quest in Dark Souls 1.
Yeah.
Well, that would have been nice.
You should explore Majula before going anywhere else, really. Like, seriously, there's a bunch of stuff here. There's a cat.
The cat talks, doesn't it?
The cat better talk. I mean, when you have a cat like in a precarious position like this, just
Cat
framed and
talking.
stuff.
Cat's talking mad shit for being within bothering distance.
Yeah, for real. What, the cat just summoned some turkeys or something?
Oh my god, what the heck?
Those pigs drop a lot of souls, but if you keep killing them, a giant one will spawn.
Damn, dude.
Well, I would like to do my shopping, thank you very much.
Three Little Pigs referenced on screen. They're in a brick house. That's funny. I get it. So that's another thing I love about Dark Souls, the symbolism. They're not afraid to do stuff like that. I don't know. And it creates like a fresh take on
Those pigs
something.
don't spawn inside the house, they followed him.
Oh, they followed him?
Yeah,
That's
spawn
weird,
they spawn like behind the house somewhere.
Oh, okay. Near the house then. Still, Three Little Pigs near a brick house. I mean, come on. I don't know what the cat has anything to do. Maybe the cat is like the big bad wolf.
Yes, I mean there are always cats in fantasy.
Yeah. It does make me wonder where the big bad wolf is, because those are literally three little boars, right? Why are they so small? They're little pigs. They're three little pigs. So where's the big bad wolf, right?
I don't Either these either drop a bunch of souls or humanity. I don't remember which. Maybe both. You're dead. Almost.
He's like, flee for your
Where is
life.
my regular life? I ran out of regular life gems fighting that guy, didn't I?
You have Estus.
No, I don't.
Don't mess us with the Estus.
Oh, you traveled but didn't rest, did you?
No, I already used it because they cornered me in the cat shop and just mauled me to death.
Lol,
Damn, dude.
Lamau.
Damn, dude.
I don't know what else to say.
The fact
They-
that like half of my attacks literally just miss them is infuriating.
I'm pretty sure this is the shortest enemy in the game, height-wise.
Yeah. And those missing attacks are programmed in, bro. Like, and they totally don't care that it looks and feels jank. That's on purpose. They say get good. It's funny. It's funny how jank.
You have to be kidding me, man. They literally just dodge half the swings.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, it's funny how jank in this case is accepted by the community, right? Because like, that's what I was saying. Like, people pointed out, like, "Hey, your game is buggy," and they're like, "Hey, no, we did that on purpose." I mean,
it's not exactly a bug. It's just that your moveset doesn't hit very short enemies.
Right.
If he was using like a great sword with slam attacks.
Yeah. And yes, they're aware that, like, I don't know, when you get your hands on the same weapon, it does less damage and stuff like that. You are handicapped as the player. The point is dying. This is a good game though. Look at that backdrop. It's so sick. Like, damn, it's beautiful.
Dude, having 2 Estus flasks this whole time would have made things so much easier.
When you got 20 bucks burning a hole in your pocket and you just want some Estus.
Wait,
All right, I have to check
hold on.
because
You only have 2?
Yes, I only have 2 Estus flasks right now. I had 1.
There should be. Oh, right. Do you have a branch?
A branch.
A fragrant branch of yore. It's an item. No. That's fine. I mostly ask because I know that you can use a fragrant branch of yore to get an extra shard in the starting zone to things betwixt.
Yeah, I couldn't fully explore the things betwixt.
Yeah, have you been to the mansion yet?
To the what?
The mansion in Majula, the biggest house. And that's the hard mode covenant. Like that monument right there, that's the hard mode covenant.
So I should not kneel?
You get an option, I think. Yeah.
I like
All
how
right,
that's
sorry.
all-
Explain this covenant and why you're mentioning it.
Nothing, I'm just telling you. It's the hard mode covenant.
Why do you call it the hard mode?
Because it makes all enemies tougher.
Oh, it's
Ah,
literally okay.
Yeah.
Like I
Interesting.
thought it was like I
Do it.
thought you were like memeing me, but like if you're saying
Do it.
it's literally like New Game Plus
No,
stuff.
in if you join the Covenant, the Company of Champions, let me see. It makes every enemy deal more damage up to 50%, gives them more HP, and gives them 20% flat damage resistance.
It's my kind of covenant.
It basically makes all enemies behave as if they were in New Game Plus.
What do you get out of it? More experience or something? More gold?
Nothing.
Or souls?
Nothing.
Oh, you just make it.
Well,
more
okay,
fun.
no, you can get awe stones and you can progress in the covenant and get some items from it, but like generally you don't really get rewards.
Gotcha. Is there at least one unique item, even if it's not very good?
There are 3 unique items you can get from the
Okay.
covenant.
Okay.
The
That
spell
makes it
Great Magic Weapon, which gives you a bunch of magic damage to your weapon. First Dragon Ring, which is the Ring of Favor version for DS2, which increases basically. It gives you more health, stamina, and maximum weight, but it's got really low durability.
better. Yeah.
And the Vanquisher's Seal, which gives you a bunch more bare-fisted damage.
See, that's not so bad. Then there's a reason to make the game harder if you are going for a certain build or something and want that item, or if you
It's-
just like that item.
Yeah, it's basically just challenge mode.
Yeah.
It's also kind of pointless to get the unarmed ring because one of the DLC
Dude,
has an
they
unarmed
give
weapon.
20 souls, you liar. You
guess-
absolute liar.
I guess that means they have a high chance to drop effigies. Or right, no, they drop invasion items. Dumb. They drop invasion items.
And the mansion is locked for what it's worth.
Is it?
Yeah.
I remembered killing a bunch of them grinding, and now I know why, because I was invading.
Ah.
Because for some godforsaken reason, Dark Souls 2 doesn't have a permanent invasion item. You can get the mentioned key in the forest from the Cardinal Tower bonfire.
From the what?
The Cardinal Tower bonfire in the forest. If you want the mentioned key.
To be honest, I have no idea where you're telling me to go.
The forest.
Okay, which of the 3 locations?
The middle one, Click. Yeah, that one. Cardinal Tower. It says right there. You're fucking blind.
I'm not blind. I don't understand. Enunciate that.
Cardinal Tower. You're supposed
Kai
to climb
Diddle
up.
D? I don't remember if there was stuff up here. Oh
You've
wait,
been there.
I bet I know where it is. Oh Jesus.
It's where you climb a big tree branch on scaffolding and you drop down.
Oh, that's literally right up here then.
Do you climb a
Somewhere.
tree branch here?
I swear there was another door.
Huh. Not that one. There.
Craig, what are you drinking?
Right now, Spindrift. Because
Spindrift?
I don't want to get drunk on stream. The beer, however, is Coors Banquet.
Coors Banquet. Gotcha. I think I may join you. Because I just ran out of Red Bull, so give me 1 sec. I forgot what mine's called, but my wife surprised me with it in honor of the graphic novel campaign launching. So I heard you mention going to the bar after a different stream another time. So the thought just crossed my mind. I figured you'd appreciate it. I'll be right back.
I'm pretty sure it means outside the branch.
Dude, I saw this meme that was like so true because it was like Dark Souls power scaling, 1 hollow, a trivial fight.
3
you can
hollows.
clear this with ease. 2 hollows, a fight worthy of the gods.
You know, you don't have to keep power stancing if you're doing.
Well, I'm trying to
badly
like
with it.
learn the pace of the swings.
Apparently,
Also,
this is a non-alcoholic IPA.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a
Why
craft.
would you drink it then? It's an IPA that doesn't even
Yeah.
get you drunk.
It's from my wifey, so I'm gonna love it. And you know what, dude? It actually tastes pretty good. Not gonna lie.
Oh, you're one of those people.
You
I
have
like
one
a good
short
beer.
sword.
I like a getting turned as much as the next guy. Don't get me wrong, but I like a good beer. But gift
You
from the
already
wife.
have one short
It's
sword, and I'm pretty sure the smith sells a second one, so you might be able to upgrade pretty soon.
I don't have Titanite shards.
No, I mean upgrade in terms of getting better weapons, because they're still broken swords. Like, they're usable, but still.
Not gonna lie, I kind of like how little stamina they take.
It's good, yeah.
Okay, so
By the
I
way,
believe
in this
is a locked
encounter,
door.
In this encounter, if you get the hollows out, you can run around and shoot them with their own ballistas.
Does not open. What? By the way, what is the button to take out the torch?
You have to equip it. I think. Maybe. I guess not.
Dude, it's like there. I have it there on my inventory, which is like not interactable.
Oh, right. You have to light it off of something. Like off a bonfire, for example.
Oh, okay. All right, so this was not where the
You can also light it off of like a brazier somewhere in the environment. But there aren't any here. I'll be right back.
Well, someone just messaged me on Gilded. I might be having another guest.
Oh, hell yeah! Anybody I know?
It's Try Detectives bitching about the trolling.
Ah,
I suppose I can invite him.
yeah. But yeah, I just kicked off my press tour for my comic yet on Monday.
Yeah, you need to talk
with-
more about that, man.
I know. I was just like giving it room to breathe, letting you do your gaming stream too, you know. But yeah, I kicked off my press tour with Nikki Pacone of Iron Age Marketing on Monday, and
Yeah, I know him.
We had a good talk about like stuff like having a press kit and you know like the history of like the music, both of our music experience. You know, we both have some industry stuff in our past. You know, and it was fun. You know, so you're technically the second one I'm on. Tomorrow I'm on Elliot Rodriguez's stream, so technically some Comicsgate stuff in there. A little bit of everybody, you know. As much as I say Iron Age, I try to just be friends with everybody, to be honest. Like, why
I mean,
why turn anybody down unless they have a reason to be turned down? Craig, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying be friends with Hitler or something. Or
yeah,
yeah.
I wish
Go
I
ahead.
had a firebomb right now.
You wish you had a what?
A firebomb.
Oh, whoops, sorry.
Yeah, the game item. I'm not wishing.
I'm
to,
just. I know. And you were reacting to the game, right? I was like,
Yeah.
because like okay, right after I dropped my
Yeah,
H bomb, I was
Comicsgate is like hitting the bed right now, as far from what I see on
Yeah.
Twitter.
Unfortunately, yeah, you gotta stop fighting, guys. I'm sorry. I love all you. You're all brilliant artists, and like, yeah, you know, we're all imperfect people, but like, stop fighting each other. We're all indies for crying out loud. So, at the end of the day, we're all on the same team, even if we think different things. In my opinion, as far as from an indie perspective, you know what I mean, Craig. Yeah, but
Well, now I don't know where to go.
this watching you play this, like everywhere you've gone looks so familiar because I've played, you know, I've played through it, but I like don't remember the names of anything or like where to go. But yeah, dude, my comic's gonna be like over 70 pages. Full graphic
So
novel.
I understand that that's like ridiculous to produce, but then I read comics and like if they're not 70 pages, nothing gets accomplished.
Boom, done. Exactly, dude. I adapted the story myself. I made the script.
Hello?
So, hey, what up, man?
What's
Hello.
up?
But yeah, anyway, I was saying I made the story myself, adapted the comic script myself. So I was able to project out how long it's going to be, and it's going to be over 70 pages, which when you think about it, that's not that long because like 1/4 of the first Game of Thrones book, which is the smallest one, if I recall, is over 100 pages of a graphic novel. So they had to turn that whole book into like 400 plus pages of a graphic novel, like multiple, like, you know what I mean? So 70 to pull off a completed story, I think that just makes sense, you know. Plus I am purposely not in a hurry. I wanted it to actually be accurate to the story, you know, like a good alternative source to read it, you know.
I'm here.
Welcome back, Oxo. We have Tried to Tech now.
Yes.
Hello,
Yeah, I'd love to
Akaso.
do my own graphic novels. But my artistic skills in that department are limited to painting miniatures, basically. So the amount that an artist needs to be paid is really, really high.
Yeah. I'll tell you this though, the fact that you if you have some skill in painting miniatures, that's actually this just could be where my mind is right now, bro. But like, that's a good reward for a campaign, right? You can go find. Sorry about your death. You will be missed. You can go find a person on like Etsy or what's another one? Just any of those online stores offering services or whatever that do 3D printing specifically to dodge markets for games like Star Wars Armada, Dungeons and Dragons, the big one Warhammer.
You say that like I'm not sitting next to 3D printers.
Exactly. So that's even better, bro. If you can print your own and you're savvy with like the modeling and everything that goes into it,
I am not savvy at modeling, and also it's just
Then get someone on Fiverr to model.
You know what I'm saying, Esco. You can offer a really dope reward, especially if you because the painting is one of the most painstaking parts of it.
Motherfucker. I thought that was a 3-swing cycle.
Rest in peace. But the painting's a very painstaking part of it. You'd have to like mail all those minis out that you're gonna eventually mail out to somebody else and stuff like that. If you could just do most of it yourself, that's a really good allure. Look at the Yaira poster that Eric July just launched.
You mean statue?
Statue. Sorry, I said poster. My bad. The statue. And they call it a statue because of the price, and I mean it is bigger, right? But
yeah, it's like a 1/8 scale figure.
Okay, yeah.
Which usually go for like half the price he's charging, but they usually are mass produced in China.
Right. So you get my point. It's just more to my point. They're going to be making money. It's a good idea.
So the house key, there's supposed to be a cave in an open area with the roots. That bit, right there. There's a cave there. Inside that cave, well, there's a fire salamander, so you have to be careful. But there's also supposed to be an NPC that gives you the key. There's also a fire longsword, I think.
There's also this thing.
You know, you can just
this is why you level up strength and not dex.
It's the same fucking thing, dude.
It's not the same because iframing is linked to agility instead of dex and stuff. This is the only Dark Souls game where you don't want to do dex or a magic build because it's so bad.
Craig leveled dex thinking it gave adaptability early on, right?
We were trying to talk him into the guts sword.
Cancer. Why did you tell me to use this?
We tried to talk you into the guts sword.
I tried to save you, James, but he's trolling you.
No, I'm not.
Do it, James.
Broken straight sword is terrible, Akaso.
It's broken.
So change dude. I told you didn't have to use it.
He's a PvPer. It's different.
Yeah, it's always different. It's crazy how in PvP the unusual suspects are always like the main, you know.
Bone whip, my beloved. Wait, no, bone scythe. I was using bone scythe when I was invading.
He's a PvPer.
But no, power stancing is good. You just need to have big stats.
What is going on? Why am I not being allowed to swing my sword?
Good, like this game is good, right?
I fucking love Dark Souls 2, dude.
Why? List 100 reasons why you love this game.
The Pursuer is unironically a cool boss.
He is pretty cool. I can't deny that. I like Dark Souls 2 now.
Pursuer's sword, his shield. He's got great boss weapons. Also, Mirror Knight. The Mirror Knight fight is just pure cinema.
Yeah.
And Mirror Knight's boss weapons and armor are great.
That's true.
And
Okay,
Majula
so
is
is
the
this fire going to just kill me?
no, but the Fire
I think it'll
Salamander
damage you.
is.
Yeah, they're going
Yeah.
too deep in there.
Ugh. Just go into the.
Why did it attack, or why did it lock onto the turtle back?
I hate when I get turtle.
Dude, I swear my controls got like 50% more jank suddenly.
I think your best course of action is to just go around the Turtle Knight and then duck into the left where there's an alcove into a room in the tunnel. And he's gonna run in and get nuked by the salamander.
What fucking calculates poise in this goddamn game?
You're not staggering the Turtle Knights.
Why am I staggering from one hit? Why is my poise so fucking terrible?
Because they're curving your head in with a 200-pound hunk of iron.
That's
I
fair.
need to dodge though.
How many souls do you have, like items?
I actually have been pretty good about using the soul items. I just haven't used the soul of the last giant because these usually turn into unique weapons.
Use it. It doesn't have a good weapon with it. I'm gonna check, but I'm fairly sure it doesn't have a good weapon with it. Soul of the last giant. Let's see. It can turn into the giant stone axe. So unless you want to use a great axe, then you can use it. And frankly, the giant stone axe is whatever. If you want to use a great axe, you're gonna go for like a black knight axe. So if I were you, I would just use all my soul items and then level up.
Yeah.
Go to branch. Whatever.
Oh, is that it? Now that I know how to jump.
Yeah, that would come in handy. Also, sprinting probably would have, you know.
These are prism stones.
I don't think the cartographer is here. He's probably inside the cave. Because it says he's in a cave and...
Okay, so you're telling me there's an alcove in there?
Yeah, on the left. Wait until he spits where he can't hit you yet. Also, you're invincible while opening doors. Yeah. There's supposed to be a cartographer somewhere in here, but I'm not sure where. He might also be in a different cave, but there's a fire longsword here. That's like +7.
Yeah, that's the best sword in the early game. You're gonna want to use that.
I can't tell if you're trolling or not, bro.
No. The fire longsword is one of the best weapons in the early game.
Okay.
Fire
I don't know why.
longsword.
I don't know why.
It's
I
not
guess-
That's...
Okay.
What's that noise?
That was Craig's rage interfering with the internet connection.
Craig, you might do well to use a effigy here for safety.
Yeah.
Also, your mic is being real crispy.
He became a dark soul.
It's the rage, I'm telling you. The rage aura.
What do you mean my mic became crispy?
It's deep fried.
Just a little fuzzy. Just a little
A little
fuzz.
real Sid.
You can't
Yeah.
kill that. You
No
cannot.
big deal. A little crisp.
I also can't walk through a door. Is this the wrong cave?
I think it adds character.
Maybe. The wiki said he was in a cave in that area. So, in a cave, in an open area with giant roots and archers close to the Cardinal Tower bonfire. So, either there's another cave or there's another area with roots and archers.
I remember
And I'm leaning-
archers being very
Think of
annoying.
one.
That's good damage.
Oh wait, there's a cave.
Flattened.
I got cocky.
You're dead.
Don't get penisy.
Oh, this is life changing. Oh right.
There's
This
the
dude
cave.
killed me. That's why I never went in this cave.
Yeah, your mic was real penis there for a moment.
Yes, dude. Yes, it was.
You should heal yourself now.
But okay, so it's not this cave.
What the fuck? Try hitting the wall, I guess. No.
He got a key from here, right?
He should. He says he does. He insists he doesn't have the mansion key.
No, not the mansion key, just any key in general. Because I think this is the final area, and then you go back to Majula.
No,
and
this is
there's
not
an-
the final area. This is actually very
No.
early in the Forest of Giants.
Yeah, he did get a key, but it was from the boss. This is not the boss area. Where the fuck is the cartographer then? I'm genuinely confused here.
I mean, is it in one of the water areas?
He's supposed to be in this area.
So the thing is that there's a cave there that I don't know how to get to.
Show me, hold on.
Up on that ledge.
Huh. Look, I'm just gonna go and open a video and watch it.
Nice. By the way, I think I should be shilling my own stuff. You can find anyone listening can find the links to my three of my books in the description.
Oh,
I've got low key
okay, so it's
connections. I've got Gamma Coin. I've got Hollow on my booty.
So it's a different area.
Yeah,
Word.
that's my favorite story made by James Craig, Hollow on
Yeah.
My Booty.
Yeah, the guy is in a different area.
I'm trying to imitate Chuck Tingle's fantastic success.
Pounded in the butt by my own butt.
I personally like Infinite Money Glitch myself. I need to finish it.
Have
Yeah,
you
and I
read
need
the
to
hit?
finish Low Key Connections, the best story made by James Craig. I recommend it to everyone.
How deep are you in low key connections?
Well, you see, James, I kind of got busy. And,
Page 10.
Oh, look
Doing
at the
me
time. No, I'm
dirty,
just-
man. You think I just gave out these invites willy nilly? No, I invited people that have actually read my stuff.
Don't
Yeah,
worry,
dude.
James. I'm just
Craig, if you
Working
promise to
on my
review
own
my
stuff
book, I'm
too.
gonna
I'm
have
like,
a,
final
have a copy sent to you.
Bro,
Pick up your sauce first.
Akaza, wouldn't you have to pay like $1 bajillion in shipping?
No, I would have to pay like $5 for manufacturing.
Hey, Doc.
Because Amazon
Word.
is making them, not me. They're not going through me. You're
Yeah.
gonna get it straight from Amazon.
and then they mail it to you. Yeah, yeah.
Like I'm getting author copies, like 2 of them, but
Yeah, that is a downside to Ingram Spark. Is sending orders to people is not actually the easiest thing. Not something I've really
Yeah, so-
pursued, but yeah.
So the thing with the cartographer, there's like a pit with a bunch of houses and like walkways over them. He's somewhere in that area. There's a cave there.
Yeah, I got a decent idea. I think it's right here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, right there, to the right. On the you go on the houses and there's a cave somewhere.
Well, unfortunately, this is like ridiculously lethal.
Why?
There's like 7 archers.
Check the armor. I think
Don't worry.
I
they
think
won't
I
be
remember
hitting
the
you.
armor being decent. You just got a piece of armor.
Do you remember what kind?
The hollow infantry. Oh,
Shout outs to
you have
The new-
you have a turtle guy armor.
the new
I do,
host
yes. I have like most of the armor set.
Yeah, but it gives you 95% encumbrance.
Yeah, I would like to
Equip
be able to
one piece.
actually navigate the map.
Try equipping one piece of ironclad armor and then just unequipping all your other armor and see how heavy you are. Once you get in a safe place, I mean.
There are no safe places.
Shout out to
Do you say
Evelyn
there's a
Music.
cave over here?
Across the zone, I think. Right there. Somewhere across. You should be able to see it.
Oh, well, geez. Maybe now that I know how to jump.
Yeah. See? I almost expected you to just eat shit, just run off the edge.
It would be characteristic of me.
To the left. There's the. He's inside. I do not remember that.
Got
hate
you
when-
trolled. You thought
I
this
hate-
game was easy?
Yeah, bro.
Honestly, I can't help but laugh at those gotchas when they happen.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's actually.
Like, it's so stupid that just
Why is there a
haha,
big
hee-hoo,
boulder? Yeah, yeah.
Indiana Jones
Yeah,
funny.
yeah. Me trying to have a good day. Responsibility.
How many times do I have to talk to this loser?
Until he gives you the key.
As many times as it takes, James.
He has very interesting lore. You should read it.
Isn't he
He's-
like an Alzheimer's patient? Like he
That's
keep,
a-
or hold on, right. I forgot that being undead gives you Alzheimer's in DS2.
Yeah, that's who you want to talk to in a game as an NPC is the Alzheimer's guy.
That's not a new area. That's just bait.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna check, but I've got a feeling
leads into the Underdark.
Oh, it does?
there is an Underdark in this game.
Oh shit! There you go. Probably then.
It doesn't sound like something I want to go to with my ass.
Okay.
Ass.
He'd be food.
The caveman is an allegory to the average Dark Souls fan. That is true. They don't shower.
Word.
All right. Mr. Pritchard, would you like to
Yes,
do me
sir.
a favor?
Yes, I would.
Is my blurb for low key connections a bad idea? I thought I was being clever, but my sales have not manifested, which implies that my clever idea was a bad idea.
Yeah, where is it?
Check the description. First
Okay.
book.
Okay. On it.
Your blurb.
I
I think your
didn't
cover.
find
was-
anything about the pit in the cave, but you can always just use your souls, go and jump in when you don't have any souls on you.
I need to go back to Majula and level up.
Oh. Also, remember to use all your soul items.
I'm
I guess
sorry.
I'll
I
use
just
all
saw.
of them because yeah.
I just saw the thumbnail Bat Sauce made for a clip video of our show, and it is ridiculous. It's just like, oh, will superheroes die? Will superhero movies die? And it's just cleavage. There you go. That's
It's
gonna
a
go
super-
viral, buddy.
It's not superhero fatigue, it's garbage fatigue.
That's gonna go viral. But I'm pulling up your book right now. That's how it caught my eye. I'm on YouTube pulling up the description and shit.
Okay, so I have a lot to level up right now.
Strength. All strength.
I'm going to get dexterity to 18 so I can use the winged spear.
ADP. Don't forget.
Yeah, I'm putting the rest into ADP.
So are you talking about the ARG nature of the blurb?
So that's how you take that. So maybe that's a fucking problem because it's just the premise of the story is the guy gets offered this contract for a magic portal.
Gotcha. Okay.
So,
Okay.
So if people are
Yes.
reading that like
Yeah.
it's an ARG, like what?
Yeah. 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 Yep. That's kind of how I interpret it. Yep. That's kind of how it comes off. But not necessarily bad. I see what you're doing, and it's a good idea. But that's my honest first interpretation of it. So
Care to read it for chat?
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it. Okay, so for chat, I clicked read more. Hold on, it's loading up. Oh, of course, Amazon gives me a pop up. Yeah, nice. Thanks, Amazon. Shout out. All right. So it says, thank you for renting this gateway. Right? Yep. You are one of the first tourists given the opportunity, and I hope that it will become a permanent affair. As the temporary owner of this gateway, you have been granted certain blessings, rights, and responsibilities. This gateway is for private use only. Any interference from relevant authorities will result in the contract instantly becoming null and void. Due to the circumstances of the magic, no promises can be made or kept with regards to return to proper realms. Yeah, proper realms. To maintain this connection requires a rental fee at the end of each month of 10,000 US dollars or 500 gold coins. Thank you for your patronage and welcome to the Alfheim. Alfheim? Adventure
Alfheim.
awaits. Alfheim. Adventure awaits.
Oh boy, I got another Estus last shard.
Nice. No, that sounds interesting. It does like comes off as like an ARG a little bit.
So
Okay, I'm here.
the premise for the story was hey, there's a lot of fun to isekai, but like 99 times out of 100 the nature of the isekai doesn't matter. So I was actually going back to basics and basically taking the Narnia approach.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, the Narnia approach is nice. Shout out RH Snow in the chat.
Snow, do you want to come on the stream?
Come talk about some wasteland survival.
Actually, yeah, I do need to have a dedicated stream with her about post-apocalypse scenarios because what I'm currently writing is a zombie story.
She's
I'm making a lot of assumptions based on various things. And Watcher of the Damned is the one indie post-apocalypse story I've read.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, out of many of us here in our little niche of the indie sphere, she is probably one of the go-tos for post-apocalyptic stuff, I would say. That's like her specialty. So, I mean, we all have our specialties. Yep. You're the cyberpunk guy as you have on your name there. And that just makes sense.
Book 3 of the Bash and Blackstone series will be available soon.
Yeah.
Like, I literally am just trying to get cover art for it right now.
I'm kind of becoming the symbolism guy, but with a subcategory of orc stuff. Me and John Douglas kind of hold down.
That's a respec item, by the way. If you want to respec, you can use it to do that.
Oh, a soul vessel is a respec item?
Yeah.
Okay, one second. I need to share a link, apparently.
She's like, let me in. Let me in.
What am I? I don't know what I am. I don't have enough. My body of work isn't wide enough to say what I
am. So I will say it's up to you based on your safety of driving. Please don't join if you are not able to drive safely. We can wait for you to be in a safe location.
Car crash live on stream.
Yeah, get my channel banned instead of monetized. Love it.
Go viral.
Yeah, that's how you go viral instead of the cleavage bat sauce. Keep an eye.
Watch our stream goes wrong.
Yeah. Dark Souls in real life. Did not dodge.
All right, so Akaso. Wait, was this a chest?
It's a chest, but it's not a real chest. I was gonna say, I'm in my car crash shock. I'm an airbag-filled T-bone cell, which doesn't make sense and it's gibberish. But
and Craig, if her sound because of the car is an issue, there's a way to reduce background noise and also decrease her mic volume as needed.
Like native to StreamYard.
Yes. I think
good to know. I'm not
Next-
too worried about the sound quality. I'm not exactly known for my crisp sound quality.
And you don't
Um,
upgrade to Spotify either, right? Or anything like that.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense then. It doesn't really matter then. There is a raw nature to live streams in general, you know.
The real question is Craig a YouTube to MP3 enjoyer?
I used to be. Nowadays it's unnecessary because I'm the kind of guy that like actually uses pays for YouTube Premium.
Yeah.
So peasants.
There's an NPC later that moves it.
Oh, that's not the Pharaoh's Lockstone.
No, you saw like a face in the wall with a square mouth. Those are Pharaoh's doors.
I can go back and unlock that.
Yeah, if you have a stone.
I have two.
Keep going
Yeah.
this way though. I think this leads to the next area.
This leads
But
to
you
the
need
Tower
to
of
go
Flame,
through.
which I don't think he's ready for yet.
He's ready for it.
Is he?
Yeah,
I
he
have
has a
3
sword of
Estus
the flame.
flasks.
Go left. You missed a exit on the left.
Oh, good. Nice back seating.
Lit.
I think there's a good sword in there. No, that's a shield.
I'm just waiting for the
I
flying
like
Viking
shields.
longship.
It is a bad shield.
Yeah. By the way, you should go back and kill the pursuer eventually.
You should
Like on
always
that platform where he killed you.
always take out your pursuers.
You're good. You can roll.
Oh yeah, the turtle armor's sick, dude. Yeah, that's the way right there.
Let's find out how good this is.
Dude, I'd be rocking that for the rest of the game. I don't care how
I
good
think
it
that
is.
depends on whether Dark Souls 2 has the empty equip slot penalty.
That's why you just get good at dodging and you
Yeah,
wear whatever the
because-
fuck you want. There you
I'm gonna
go.
be
Bloodborne-
naked with a pot on my head.
Do
Yeah,
it.
in
I mean, yeah.
Bloodborne, if you didn't have all slots filled, you would get like minus 20% defense for every empty slot.
Hello.
Hail.
Finally! Hail!
Hail.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, you're coming through fine.
Hail to the Craig. Good job.
Yes.
Wait.
Yes.
Hey, where are you on this game right now? Where are you?
He's in
I
the tunnel.
just earlier beat the first boss.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jesus. I can't beat that thing. I am a failure as a gamer. I went into that. I was like, oh, I'm going to do just fine. I'm going to be just fine. I got on PS3 and it was like 5 days later, I was still on the first freaking boss. I could never do it. I don't know what was wrong with me. I ask your forgiveness right now because I have not beat Dark Souls.
Dark Souls
Well-
2 was on the PS3?
All right, just know. I bet you'll appreciate this fact about Dark Souls that I didn't even bring up yet. Are you guys aware of the hidden music of Dark Souls?
No.
No.
There's a every boss has a hidden rhythm to them. We
Oh,
mentioned-
that, right.
We mentioned the Dancer of the Boreal Valley earlier from D3.
Don't attack them. Don't
Ascend-
attack them.
She's a
Well,
good
I was trying to
example,
talk to him.
and
No,
she's a
that's an
non.
enemy.
Oh, dude, that guy's so cool. I always thought he was badass.
They're just
Is it-
sitting around, and at some point they all get up and come after your ass.
Yep, they do. Yeah, these statues are a pain in the ass. Oh, but yeah. Anyway, the Dancer of Boreal Valley is a reference to that directly, kind of, because dancing, right? You dance to music. It's a
Yeah.
clue. It's a clue, and you can actually. There's a convoluted way to transcribe it. I think the game theorist broke it down years
Yeah.
ago. Is where I kind of got wind of it. But yeah,
Really?
dude, these games are wild, and I think that you would appreciate that because it's like music.
you.
So maybe you literally couldn't beat it because you were like playing it off tempo, if that makes sense. In a
I
musical
was. I said I
perspective.
was. Thank you.
Yeah,
No, that literally it's probably and that was just also there's places where you just get stuck.
Yeah.
I was so stuck in Bethesda mode because I'd been playing. I'd been playing
Yeah.
Fallout on New Vegas, and I get stuck in Bethesda configuration, And so this was on PS3, which I still have alive. It's on life support right now because I refuse to give it up. It's mine. It has my games on it, and I love my games. I don't want everything in digital because I hate what they did to me with Dragon Age. And so I was like, so I was so stuck in Bethesda mode. I need to switch over, and it's like getting your brain to flip from one configuration to the next. For some reason right now it's hard for me, which is like painful. So yeah, it's one of the first games I want to play actually after I finish the series, because I'm going to wait until I finish the series to really start gaming again heavy. And I want to play Dark Souls all the way through, and I might actually do it as a stream. I'm not sure, but if I did that, would I want to start at like Dark Souls 1 or start like earlier? What should I do if I'm a Dark Souls novice? What do I need to do?
You start with Dark Souls 1, and then you pretend Dark Souls 2 doesn't exist, and then
You're dyslexic shit. Fuck you.
So you
what?
There's an argument to be made about just starting on 3.
The thing is, Dark Souls 2 is controversial because it changed a bunch of stuff from the first game.
Like RNG to character health.
It's not
really
that. Not just that. It's mainly the feel of the game. It's basically more. It's more turn-based, so to speak. It's slower.
Okay, so it's just the game flow.
Yeah, it's an acquired taste that not many have, for good reason.
Right.
Well, no, it's the same thing happened with Dragon Age. When you look at it, and you look at Dragon Age Origins, Dragon Age, Dragon Age 2 stands out because it's just so weird. It's just different.
Yeah.
I think of it when you look at them on their own.
I would say the changes from Dark Souls 1 to Dark Souls 2 are basically the exact opposite of the changes from Dragon Age 1 to Dragon Age 2.
Really? Okay. Yeah. So it's just taste, but it's the same thing I talked about. When you get stuck in that mode where this is this game, this is how I play it, this is the flow I've got, and then it really radically changes. It makes it. We have that happen to us as authors too, because if we change our flow on a particular piece of work, and we say, okay, I'm in the middle of a series, I'm suddenly going to change my point of view to that of a cat, for instance, which I actually did at one point. And I changed it actually in Purgatory Paradise. I have never received any flack for that. I don't know why. I guess it's a cat, because nobody cared. It was a cat. That's okay. But when you switch, usually people will suddenly just flip out if it's so different that they don't recognize the author's voice or they don't recognize the way a character is moving. It does throw people, and we feel the same way about our games. I'm kind of that way about the difference between Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, where when you're doing just the game mechanics, it's a little hard to make that switch too. I've never had that problem with Elder Scrolls though, and I don't know why. Like, I was perfectly fine going from Oblivion to Skyrim.
Because it's kind of the same rhythm.
Yeah, they flow good. And this is a very rhythmic game.
But the games change from one to the next, but fundamentally they're the same rhythm.
Yeah. And this game itself, like I mentioned, is very rhythmic. It's like a different type of game, I joked about God of War earlier, but it's way different.
Craig, wait. You want a parrying shield for this?
A parrying shield?
Yeah, you want to parry the pursuer. He's got a swing where he winds his sword back, and that's when you can parry him easily.
So which is the stat that determines how easy it is to parry? Because they all say they're parry strike.
Just pick the buckler or the nipple shield, the small leather one or the buckler. Either works.
It's the stupidest build I've ever equipped in a game.
What?
Yeah. Just be very careful around the stab because it has a stupid white hitbox.
Okay, so he's actually
That's what ends up happening in this game, though. You always look like this eventually.
Just go for it. What did you use for a build this time? Did you use a little tiny person that's very small and weak, or what did you do?
I'm trying to go Dex.
Oh yeah, so you are small.
But as you can see, I'm in heavy armor right now.
Oh no, that's rough. You don't have any light armor?
He has light armor.
I am. It's just
right
that
now,
this is the
best choice.
Best choice right now because I'm so early in the game that I just don't have options.
Oh, you're trying to get Dex, but you don't have it yet. Okay. Yeah, I'm talking on a phone, so I literally cannot see the screen. I'm just like going into the blind. Yeah, if you're
West Shard.
you're just starting out and you're trying to get Dex, but you don't have it yet. So basically,
Also,
it's like a mage, but without any spells.
I mean, the thing is, in Dark Souls, Dex is a purely offensive stat.
Yeah.
So, like, your dexterity doesn't factor into what armor you can use. You can be a Dex heavy armor guy with a katana.
Oxo, does the boss that came here like not spawn again?
It's possible that he doesn't show up again here. It's very possible. There are places where he just shows up until you kill him, but I think it's possible that he just shows up once.
He shows up once.
I think a lot of enemies despawned when I beat the giant.
No, enemies start despawning after you kill them a bunch of times. Like, if you go through an area enough and kill the enemies enough times, there will be no more enemies left for you.
Oh yeah, it basically becomes. It's kind of like it just becomes depopulated, based on how. Now, isn't that also due to you leveling up? Doesn't have a mechanic, so it doesn't have that mechanic.
No, it's part of the game mechanics because there's an item that you can burn at a checkpoint to respawn all the enemies, but it also makes all the enemies stronger in that area.
Yeah, I remember that.
Also, you should go back and talk to the merchant hag until you exhaust her dialogue, because then she'll come back to Majula.
This is one of the reasons. This is one of the reasons why Dark Souls is as challenging and as legendary as it is, because the whole trilogy, because of the fact that they put so much work into making it a challenge for a serious gamer.
Because the games don't treat you like an idiot.
Well, that's it. That whole thing about the rhythm, for instance, this is something I never would have picked up. And I love Easter eggs. I'm usually the first person on an Easter egg. But that kind of stuff, that little hidden advantage or disadvantage, if you're not looking for it, that's literally like mind mapping the who is the programmer on Dark Souls.
Right. Whoever they are.
You posted a link to my chapter 238 in the public chat.
No, I didn't.
Which is nice, but not exactly a good place to start.
I'm sorry. Why did you have a link to chapter 238 in the private chat? What did that mean?
Because I was talking to ASOS. I don't know your name. Sorry.
AC. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
apparently, if I'm doing that wrong, I need your show links fresh. Go repost them in the private chat. Jesus.
Fresh show links incoming. Coming.
Here.
I don't even think I have a shill link right now. I have one, but it's not with you.
My show link is also on screen.
No, you just talk to her until she starts repeating herself.
She gave me a ring.
She gave you a ring, then then go back to Majula and check if she's moved.
She gave you a ring. Just be a man. Put it on. Come on. See what happens.
Put a ring on it.
Yeah, put a ring on it right there. Yeah. She's the one.
She's the one.
Life to Seller Hag, my beloved.
Fallen foes yield more souls.
Yeet.
Very
sweet.
Good.
Take it.
Tattoo it. So we were joking about how you are the queen of the wasteland in the Iron Age.
That's true, awesome. That's like just what I always wanted to be, was just like to be the empress of a vast hellhole. You know, it's like sounds great.
Well, in this case, we mean genre.
Okay, that's better. Good.
Yes,
Good. Yes. Depends on how my house looks at any given moment to whether I'd really believe that. It's like an apocalyptic wasteland in here, kids. Let's get it cleaned up, guys.
Right.
No, I don't know. I thought more people would write in that. Actually, the genre is really weird. James knows this. He's told me that this genre is so weird, and so post-apocalyptic is about the closest I can come to trying to figure out how to market it. And so naturally, I end up in that giant pile of people. So like, like I finally made like a day where I had like hundreds of sales, and it was like you've skyrocketed to 2 million on Amazon. It's because there's so many people in the genre. So I thought we had more post-apocalyptic people in our indie group, our Iron Age, but y'all are all very utopic and beautiful and lovely. It's there's a lot of dystopias. James does awesome dystopias. He does a lot of that really noir. I love Cal. I'll give him a fangirl squill right on the air right now. You did not pay for this, did you, James? You paid me no monies at all. In fact, you gave me a bad time about my book, and I still said that I love James's noir urban fantasy. That dystopia is so perfect. I can literally smell the food. I'm like, he does such a great job with that. And so that is such a hard genre for me because I'm not an urban person. So when I write, I have to write what I know. So anything that's post-apocalyptic, chances are I've actually seen it because I've been an EMT and a firefighter. So everything in the book pretty much is real. It's like, it's just after the fire, or it's after the wreck or whatever. Yeah, surviving.
She didn't move. That's weird.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. She told you she's gonna move.
I missed it by one talk.
What?
I had to talk like 7 times to get her to relocate to Majula. I only talked to her 6 times and misinterpreted something. Lovely. Thank you very much for the comments on Bastion, although I disagree that it's a dystopia. Most people say it's a dystopia, and okay,
there's spoilers there, so let me say it that way. It is not. You and I talked about it, so I wasn't going to say anything. It has a dystopic feel. But you and I know what we're talking about. If you want to say it, you go ahead and say it because that's a beta read.
Take off your armor. Say it. Take off your armor before jumping. You also might still die if you don't have enough health. Yeah.
Yeah, don't do this. You need a ring to get down here.
You don't necessarily need the ring, but it's a good idea.
Nice.
Yeah, I think.
Okay. Yeah. So, Bastion, is actually, it is technically post-apocalyptic. It is just so far after the apocalypse that it doesn't have the tropes of post-apocalyptic.
So it's post-apocalyptic.
It's a rebuilt society. And are you gonna talk about it? Because I'm gonna let you talk about it. But I think I know where you're going with it, and I just didn't want to say something on a live stream because that might be a spoiler.
I already have 2 books released in the setting.
Okay, so we can kind of talk about. Yes, it's actually supposed to be a utopia. People are the ones that keep screwing it up. It's like, people are the ones that ruin it. It's
just like
and
real
we don't really. Yes, it is. You can have this wonderful thing that you built and actually Bastion it has its own personality. It has its own ways, and because of that, you've got this perfect creature that exists, this entity, and people are ruining it. They're literally taking advantage of it, spoiling it. As always, every utopia has its dystopian side. And so, and we get to explore that dystopian side in Bastion. We get to do it through your characters because that's where the cool part is. That's where the seamy underbelly of the city sort of thing happens. And that's kind of what I wanted to do for the flip flop of that in Watcher of the Damned was that actually it's kind of a beautiful world when you finally get away from all the bodies and dead stuff. It's actually pretty cool. And there, everything has its side. So there's that balance there. But I love the fact that in Bastion, it is obscured behind a veil of humanity. Let's put it that way. There's a portion of it that we get to glimpse, and we see this entity that what things could be if only people were willing to work together to try to have it.
Right.
So one of the things I try to drive home pretty constantly with Bastion is that like everything, every corporation, every government entity, all of it is like at least mildly corrupt. Because I think there's actually like basically political merit to doing that because a lot of people have a normalcy bias and they think that, America couldn't possibly be corrupt.
Oh, it is.
I think that when you see the
Corrupt
what we have,
people.
that official word that we have out there, there's an official narrative, and it has a tendency to show up in large
I would
letters,
say-
and
I would
they
say
say
America is a black maleocracy.
Bureaucracy.
yeah, I would
That's
almost say
Mail spelled MAIL.
Yeah.
yeah.
MAIL.
Yeah, I mean, like, who has the blackmail on the politicians? That's who's actually in control.
Yes, and well, there's so much. Actually, there is so much skepticism out there, but we see the official word is, people who believe in this
You need
thing,
a
they
branch.
believe in this. Yes, and then behind the scenes, people actually say what they are thinking, and they say what they believe, and so you already know there's corruption there based on the fact that people are afraid to say what they actually think. If I feel like I have to paraphrase everything with the words in Minecraft, then the chances are I'm living under a corrupt society.
Yeah, it's
Especially
fair as
corrupt
fuck.
government.
Yeah, it's super fair.
Yes, that is true.
Oh man.
And in fact, that just recently changed now, where people are saying, well, if you say it and you put in Minecraft on it, they will still come after you because they say now they know what that means. So now we're going to have to say in Dark Souls. So that way, and then
Dark
James
Souls.
gets demonetized and it'll be fine.
I just say it because
I'm
I live in the
already
literal middle
demonetized,
of
it's
nowhere
okay.
and I'm outside the CIA's jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll just come after James instead. It's all right.
Yeah. It's
James
fine.
taking the fall for all of us.
Yes. He gave himself for us. Thank you, James, that we could talk openly.
Just remember
your-
to like and
on your-
subscribe to pay me back for the arrows and stones that YouTube will throw at me.
Mhm.
Dude, no, the algorithm is nuts. It's so hard. And they keep on
Yeah.
wanting me to make shorts, and I accidentally will make them because I have like those little time lapse picture things I do, and they always come in at under a minute. And it's like you'll get 100 hits on it, but then there's other times it'll get like 4, and it's the same one. It's like, how is this even being counted? And it really doesn't. I don't know. I mean, I love the fact that I can reach out on YouTube. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm not like you guys. You guys are dedicated. You get up there, you do all sorts of cool stuff. I'm just like there for the fun. I'm there for the party.
Mhm.
But even then, I haven't figured out this algorithm thing, because there's times when something will
Actually,
just off.
I'm curious, Craig. I'm not sure if you've read enough of Cherno to like make a judgment, but do you think it's more dystopian than Blackstone, like the New World?
So for a number of reasons, I don't think Bastion is a dystopia at all. So if you
Well,
have,
it has
anything
dystopian
that
elements of
qualify-
corruption and the like.
I'm sorry.
It has dystopian elements of corruption and whatnot. It has a smell of cyberpunk because it's post-cyberpunk. You're dead. Well,
Well,
Did you think you could swim in Dark Souls?
yeah, you can't swim.
is
You have
this
to
a
jump off.
PlayStation 1 game?
There's no swimming in Dark Souls. There's no swimming in Elden Ring either.
Fair.
So I have not read much of Chernocaster, but you are probably more dystopian, because they're like I'm going to take a strong guess here that the quality of life for the random schmucks in Chernocaster is pretty low.
It's pretty okay.
Okay, I think this is okay. Here's the difference when we talk about what is. First of all, we're
The
speaking
main
from our experience.
worry,
Yeah.
the main worry people have in Chernocaster, specifically in Auden Point, which is the city that's basically the main setting right now. The main worry people have is getting involved with mafia by accident and getting body snatched by the literal body snatcher bane worms that run the mafia, or B, being very, very unlucky and being in the area where some major issue happens and the church gets involved and flattens your whole apartment block.
I'm gonna have to read this.
Yeah.
It is coming to print soon. He got picked up by a publisher. If you didn't catch the
Did
start.
he really? Wow, I did not know.
You can also read it for free on
For now.
a website for now.
Cool.
I'm
Sweet.
gonna. How do I get a link to you? You're in the car.
No. Cool. Yeah. I want to see it. This link. No. Yeah. The whole thing is, frequently when we talk about dystopias, we talk about it being either it's corruption or that people are living at a lower standard. But in Watcher of the Damned, it's actually post cyberpunk coming back into Cyberpunk. That people who did not know that they still have
And
technology
so-
available come into it.
Oh.
And
And
so you have
Did
that.
you do,
Yeah.
in Watcher of the Dam, did you do like a massive population culling so that people's labor is valuable again?
Yes, but when you have the massive depopulation, you also have enormous exploitation of the people that are still there.
Of course.
Because you no longer have replacement, and so you no longer have the ability to just go out and say, okay, we're going to go ahead and I can work these people to death because I've got more, but that labor becomes exploited. And so you, instead of it, there's a point to where it doesn't have an economic return to say, okay, I'm so valuable, you're going to do whatever I say, or as opposed to I'm so valuable, you will do anything to keep me under your thumb. And it
Yeah,
becomes
right.
much like an exploitable
So
currency.
it becomes kind of like medieval Europe serfdom.
It does. And that's one of the things. You actually have a double class, and this is the part that, as you get into the second and third book, you have the world revealed to you, the world outside of just the Tejas co-op, where you have this group of people that are living without their technology, and they believe they're the only ones left. And it turns out they're actually an exploited prison population who has been left in the dark by the people who still have tech and by the people who are exploiting their labor. And when they find this out, and when they actually decide to make a revolution against it, how do you make a revolution against a technological society that is doing electronic surveillance? And some people said this wasn't really fiction, but then it said it was like a documentary, and I was like, cool. But in this case, how do you actually do it? Well, the way you have to do it is you have to do it through Luddite means. You have to go in and you have to learn how to use the technology to your advantage, and you have to also be willing to make a break with it. And one of the things we have as humans, when we're talking about this right now, what does a post-apocalyptic hellhole look like to us? It looks like a place where I can't get on my phone and talk to you. It literally looks to me like a place where I don't have access to the internet, but that is exactly the way that the exploitation is taking place. So there's that dance of how much am I willing to give up in exchange for freedom.
I actually kind of handle this in Chernowcaster as well, because to begin with, the protagonist is from a cyberpunk megacity. So she's super used to everything being super digitized and surveillance everywhere, and having to basically
Don't get into trouble. I'll be right back.
Yeah. And she's used to basically having to constantly expect to have to deal with surveillance everywhere. So she's used to doing that and to countering cameras and digital tracking and all sorts of bullshit. So when she gets reborn in the new world, she's like, wait, this is so fucking easy. This is way easier. There's no cameras anywhere.
Yeah,
and in terms of quality of life, it's kind of similar. The quality of life in the protagonist's world of origin is such dog shit that the kind of but sometimes kind of shitty quality of life in the new world, she's like, this is so nice. This is so nice.
Yeah. That freedom of being able to, and when you're healthy and you're young and you say, oh, wow, this is fantastic. I don't have to, I can just go to the person next door. If I want to talk to them, I will physically go to them and talk. But in Watcher of the Damned, our main character actually has a speech disability. He cannot speak at all. Okay. And the very same technology that will help him as he starts to speak on his own, and he has to access it at first through illicit means, and then he finally gets the means to talk. The whole point behind this was that he would be able to speak to anyone and do anything. He has to make choices. Can he speak? And when he does, is he taking a risk he will be surveilled, or that he will bring surveillance down on the group that he's working with? As we talk about that promise of technology, and one of the things it's very hard to make a balance.
The first thought I got for a solution is a soundboard. just a soundboard that doesn't have any network elements to it, just like a couple preset phrases.
Yeah, you actually have a soundboard, or you have the letterboard, or you have a notepad and you write.
Yeah.
But in a post-apocalyptic world, and we haven't, or post-cyberpunk, excuse me, one of the things we haven't really addressed most of the time is the absolute idiocy of the population, is they have forgotten how to read. True. And they do not know how to write. Most people, and everybody's like, oh, that wouldn't happen. I guarantee you, have you talked to a fourth grader lately and found out that they don't learn how to use how to write cursive? And we have adults that right now do not use, don't really know how to use a pencil and paper.
I
there's
barely write, but I still know how to. Like, it's weird. It's a weird thing to consider not being able to.
Yeah. So as we go to that sort of thing, that promise of technology, and also that promise of one of the things I wanted to highlight, because we have a lot of stories about the evils of corporations, the evils of engineering and technology, and it is a double-edged sword. But for instance, in Watcher of the Dam, we have one of our main characters is actually an engineer, and he shows up in book 4, and he is going to be
Isn't your main character an engineer?
No, my main character, Watcher, is not an engineer. Watcher actually is a spook of a different kind. You'll find out in the spoilers, la la la. But one of my main characters, hang on, you'll find out.
He was something technical.
No. One of my main characters, and he shows up in book 4, which is Hellraisers and Heartbreakers. As you go to the town of Purgatory, is one of the main bosses, and it turns out he's a civil engineer. And one of the reasons we wanted a civil engineer, my father was an engineer, and he was also a scientist. He worked with Apollo project, Apollo 11. Engineers have an incredible capability to advance civilization quickly, even with minimal groups. And we think of engineers now primarily in this age, but my father was born in 1924. He actually worked with horses at one point, and wood. You can make incredible monuments, edifices. You can actually change the course of civilization with sanitation engineering, with roads, and with other things.
You get one competent civil engineer, and you can build Rome.
That's right. All you have to do, you have to have somebody who's willing to work with them. And you have to have the yeomen that are out there that actually know how to work, journeymen and other people who actually know how to work with raw materials to create things. And so we wanted that element of technology and previous technology as well, that how do you actually build something without these people? And so a main character in the book is actually an engineer. And then one of the other main characters is also an IT guy. And so we have IT guys, we have engineers, we have other people, because you can't just run a revolution with a warrior. You cannot just have the guy that fights with his fist to turn over a civilization. You can't do it. The system can only be brought down by people who are willing to build another system in its place, one that values freedom, but you still have to build something.
The system can be brought down by anyone, but you better have someone who can build it back up, or someone else will, and it's not going to be your guys.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's right.
Well, both sides. Yeah.
Immortalizing in the chat.
It adds to what Snow was saying about, like, it requires somebody who knows how to build.
I'll be right back again.
Yeah.
No, I think that we have a tendency to ignore those classes when we write these epic novels. When we write our stories, because we love the warrior class. So there's a reason why, because it gives us a chance to fight, to actually get out there and do something with our fists that we don't get a chance to do. But you really haven't lived until you've been in an organization trying to reach change, and you don't have somebody who knows how to crunch numbers. Until you have and one of our characters is actually an accountant, and he knows how to make the books work, what to do, what they say. And he also works as a spy. And this is actually based on real life experience that I've had in my own line of work, where you have people that will actually go out there and they will make the call and say what you want to say, so you can hide the movements of people and goods. When you have those people on your side and you're able to get them to cook the books. Now, this is where corruption in the government comes in, because the same thing happens in our government, where they hide the movement of people and troops and other things and money to fund those things by hiding it behind a veil of finance. So there are so many different elements to overturning systems of injustice. And we go to that warrior class because it is the most readily available. But sometimes we don't inspect our own lives, our own ability to how we can wreak change in the world, how we can actually create that havoc that we long to see to overturn systems of injustice. And it actually is in your own hands. If you look at yourself and you say, what is it I do for a living? How does the system work because of me? What can I do to subvert the system with my skills that I have as a software programmer or as a grocery bagger? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing, you have the ability to wreak change. One of the biggest things that we miss in our books is the service-based society as a spy network. Because 9 times out of 10, when we go back to the American Revolution and to the Texas Revolution, it was during service-based interactions that people would pass messages.
Yeah.
Somebody serving you food, somebody giving you a drink. It happened at the bar. And we frequently overlook those people in our stories as well. There is such a wealth of stories that are yet to be told by all of us. If we just look around and we say, oh, this breaks the mold, not because it's coming up with something completely different, but it's finally telling a story that other people have ignored because it's beyond that trope of just the warrior fighting the battle. And once we start looking there, we start actually looking at ourselves and say, how can we enact change in our society with the skills we have?
Well said.
Please don't fall off, James.
I did it once.
No,
I
it's
won't
gonna
be doing it again. Also, welcome to the stream, Mr. Immortal Rising.
Nice.
Immortal. What up?
Good to see everybody.
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
awesome to see you. Yay.
Who wound up RH Snow? All right,
I
who
know,
pushed that button?
No. It's
all
now I
fired
will
up.
step away. I will step away.
No,
now.
Oh no, she
You're
was
great,
kind of
darling.
cooking.
No.
Oh, you're good.
Didn't want to interrupt.
Yeah, the overlap between our books is pretty high. So you
Yeah, it
keep
is.
ranting. I'll go, by the way, my books are in the description.
I know. No, I know that. Yes. You do. I have your link on there. So I'm going to finish my beta read for you. If I can stop
You
doing
did?
stupid
What are you
things.
talking about?
I've got to finish Sarah.
I will freely admit
What are you talking
that
about?
my
You
books
definitely
are,
did finish it.
my books are a lot more very much on the lone warrior fighting side of things.
Nice.
No, but that's
Very
it's a
much-
fun.
Very much on the me when I kill politicians Lamau side.
Oh yeah.
In Minecraft. I mean, in Dark Souls.
Yeah, we talked about this. It's not in Minecraft. It's in Dark Souls.
Like
Yes.
the Chernocaster's prologue is my main character getting betrayed and killed, and the moment she dies, 3 dead man switches go off. The first one turns her body, because she's a cyborg, it turns her body into an autonomous weapon that just keeps going and using her safe houses and stuff to self-maintain. So she keeps
Sweet.
going, even if she herself dies, she keeps fighting in a way. The second dead man
Akato has
switch,
wild magic powers.
I might have dated her.
That's not even magic. That's just cybernetics and stuff. The
Yeah, it's
second Deadman
magic.
switch.
Like me.
Fair. Fair. The second Deadman switch is a gigantic nuke under the headquarters of the major mega corporation that she was trying to find the people who control it.
Sweet.
So, out of spite, when she dies, she goes, okay, I can't find the guys actually behind this, so I'm gonna blow you the fuck up.
Shit.
Is
The
he
third
with your?
Deadman switch is a self-replicating AI, kind of like Cyberpunk's net crash thing, that just fucking annihilates all the networks related to that mega corporation.
You see, well, here's how yours is so different than just what we call the. And let me say it up front. First of all, I'm a huge Conan fan. I love Howard. That pure warrior type, which the Watcher has a lot in common with that. But that pure warrior type, there's nothing wrong with that. But your character is different in that she is bringing in spycraft into it. So there's that when you talk about the dead man.
Yeah,
switch,
she's
that
very
big things happen.
distrustful of big system, what's it called? She's very distrustful of institutions, which is fun to play with because
Me too.
one of the core
you should be.
linchpins in the fantasy side of the setting, which is like 99% of the story takes place in, one of the core linchpins of that setting is that for once the church isn't evil.
Yeah.
Or
see,
what?
there
Yes,
you
I'm
go.
in this. No, that's so cool.
Revolutionary Akaso.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're being wild, man. You're being
There
wild.
are two churches, which are basically kind of just two sides of the same organization, and neither of them is evil or corrupt. They're at worst like slow and heavy-handed in how they handle things.
Yeah,
And
bureaucratic.
one of
yeah.
Yeah,
them,
bureaucracy. Yeah.
yeah, one of them basically handles the settings. One of them basically handles like medical care. They basically run all the hospitals and clinics and gymnasiums. and the other church maintains the big wheel, which is just
Yeah,
a
the
giant
big wheel.
planetary
Of
shield
course.
that. It's a giant planetary shield that protects the planet from both malicious gods and replaces the magnetosphere because the planet's own magnetosphere died a while ago.
See, I love this because this is almost
How
advanced.
does a planet's magnetosphere die?
Well, it didn't die. It was weakening, and they kind of incorporated the replacement into the wheel as a precaution.
Well, just having a good religion, or a church system that's not, it's corrupt and abusing everybody and other stuff. That alone is pretty cool. Like that's rare anymore.
Yeah, because it's rare.
I mean,
now.
I was thinking, how do you maintain a planetary megastructure over thousands and thousands of years? You make a religion out of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I have something similar in my own story where the religion is super new and young and all that stuff. So, but the church itself is not corrupt, and you won't see it corrupt probably for as long as the series goes for. So that's exactly
Sweet.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's okay for it to be that way. You don't have to prove religion.
I'm not even religious. I just kept.
Yeah,
seeing...
exactly. I'm not like,
No,
I don't go to the church or nothing, but, like it's fine to have a good church. It's okay.
It's just such a generic thing. It's so generic.
I think it's a
evil church.
Yeah, now it's hacky, It's like, okay.
Well, it literally is. This is actually and if we look at this group that you have here right now, this is not just a reaction to the culture that we're in. It is an action that we're taking. We're saying we're starting to say that there are things that are good that are out there, that are actually in place. In Watch for the Dam, for instance, the church itself actually is a government construct. One side of the society actually has the state as God. The other one has a man-made religion, much like some people would say, almost like climate change. I don't know. and they have this
young community
and so they actually we're demonetized now. So they actually create this. So they created a religion actually that was supposed to supplant other people's true religions, and they made this world religion where you could worship anything you wanted as long as you worship the right things, or you worship the state. But what happens when you overthrow that one? Well, in Watch for the Dam, there actually is an actual preacher that is left. With the last one, he's the last shepherd of Shiloh, and he has this little tiny church out there with nobody there, of course, because they're all dead. But he still maintains it and takes care of it. And he becomes the actual, much like Book in Firefly, you have this wandering preacher. And so he is the representative of that true feeling of faith, whatever the faith might be. He is the one that actually has a true faith. And he comes in as counterpoint to this government created entity, whether it's the state itself or a man-made religion that's designed to make people do as the government wants. And so they are actually in counterpoint to each other. And as you bring those balances in, when you start writing what you're writing, that first feeling that you have that I'm going to write this character and I'm going to write these things, go with it, because you are the footprint of the age. People are going to be reading your books for centuries. You now have the ability to have your books alive much longer than we are going to be. There will be electronic copies and there will be physical copies. And when they read your books, they're going to see your response to your perceived injustices
of this time.
You have to write. Yes, of this time. They are going to see it, and they are going to be reading about it 500 years from now. So write it as you feel the need to write it, because you may be speaking to a whole new generation and giving them the tools that they need to fight tyranny in their own time.
And
you need to bottle that up and sell that. Can you bottle that spirit up? It's like, you got me hyped right now.
Same.
Retribution Engine, my other novel, was a lot more political early on, because the core. Well, I couldn't just keep going in circles, right? So it had to stop being about that specific political thing. But early on, it was a lot about. Well, it's about a country that lost the war and was then being kind of sliced up by the conquerors, right? Mm-hmm. And the thing was that you've got occupation governments, you've got there's Ikesia, the country that lost, there's Grecuria, and then there's the Patarian Empire, which are the two conquerors. And so you have Grecuria and the Patarian Empire shipping their own people into Ikesia because the big war killed a bunch of people. So they're replacing the original population, and you see where I am going with this.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was very much about kind of reforging a cultural and national identity for Ikesia and all the resistance that came with that. And I ended up writing like a whole side thing that was just about a violent uprising in one occupied city.
No, I think it's fascinating because we really don't talk about revolution that much for a reason, of course, in Dark Souls, because there are people that are very concerned about it. And in fact, Amazon just yesterday we received word that Amazon actually refused to allow an ad to run on a particular book, saying that it touched points with the current events of our time.
And
now, when you actually
you can't write about that. Holy cow.
Yeah, they couldn't have an ad about it. They couldn't run the ad because the book was about current events. This is the world we're living in. We actually set our vision beyond it, because when we have to say things. We have to say what we're going to say. And when we start talking about it, we notice now here, I will say this, as I'm speaking to this group, you have a strong undercurrent of revolution in these stories. It's not just overthrowing the old king. It's not just conquering the villain. It is about, and I would say I would challenge each one of us. I believe that if you look at each one of us, you will see there is a point in almost every story that we're looking at where a hero or a set of heroes is going to overthrow a system. This is a common theme.
Yeah, a few times. It has been a small handful of times, but a handful of times I've gotten commenters like calling me a Nazi for explicitly calling out tactics of replacing the original population with your own, which have been historically used by conquerors for thousands of years.
Well, and what's crazy is that they don't even see, when you were talking about the corporation censoring and all that stuff, that's corporate fascism. And those are things that person that is talking to you is probably okay with. And they don't even realize that they're fine with corporate fascism.
Right.
The chances are that person actually may be working with a corporate fascist, and let me tell you why. Because we're finding that they're actually doing keyword searches to find books that have certain keywords and then that have certain looks, and then they will literally go and leave a review on it, or they will. We've had a couple of just in the last 3 or 4 weeks where we noticed certain attacks being made on certain authors, and they were copy pastes, but they were actually done based on the fact that they believed that the authors were presenting a certain viewpoint or of a certain demographic. And because of that, and it wasn't white, it was actually a different demographic. But we have this move where the corporations do move hard. In Watch of the Damned, the corporate oligarchy is actually the system. It comes from the corporate oligarchy. It is self-sustaining, almost like a nanobot. It continuously replenishes itself, replacing itself with handlers on handlers at every level of society. And you always, that's leadership. You bring in your leader from the next one down. How do you overcome a system like that? Well, we're having to do that right now. We are having to do that. And that is why our writing reflects this. But it means that you are going to get your criticism based on that. We are up against a corporation of people who wish to rule our world and really don't mind if we die in the process.
Well, and it's even in the word, corporate, corpus, corpse, it's not even a living entity. We're fighting the undead.
Well, yes, but actually now is that bringing as an AI, by the way, is not an evil thing, and actually there's an AI character.
What we have are not AI.
But they are now trying to use it as a governance tool. So they actually plug in AI, which of course AI is only as good as its programmers. It can only learn what it's been taught to learn. But they are using that. So we have not only we're up against a corporation of people, but they are using AI to immediately respond to perceived threats at any level. So when you do the keyword search, you may have your first contact actually be with an AI that says you're a Nazi because you did blah, blah, blah. Or you are evil because you said this. Now, as you start to make more arguments, you will find that the AI breaks down and then the handler comes in. So we are having to do exactly what our characters in our books are doing. So look at what your characters are going through, because I think you'll find that there is a parallel to your own life.
It's super interesting you say that, because I'm reflecting on parts of my own story, and I agree with you. I think I see it myself.
Yep.
It's pretty
I have a thought on this, actually. It goes to what R.H. Snow was saying about how our voices matter in this generation of writers. We reflect the problems of our own time and stuff. I will add to that point, and I'm really super excited that you guys started talking about AI, because that's, to my point, I often say that we're probably one of the last few waves of like human writers being a common thing. So people are gonna people will look like, okay, critics really, they look at like things like the Iron Age, right? And they're like, oh, that's a time period. No, it's a movement. Da 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 da.
Yes.
No, it's literally a time period, and whatever name it is right now, whatever is happening right now, this decentralization AI push is going to result in only like human writers will be the delicacy
Honestly,
among it'll be the rarity.
I think
we're the last
AI assisted writing will mainly be dominant in volume based web novel slop. Which isn't just web novels generally, but a specific subset of web novels for readers who just swallow absurd word counts every single.
It's already there. It's already there. In fact, I've encountered it at least twice.
Right now, AI assisted writing is just supplementing mainly Chinese writers, because Chinese web novel websites like Chijian and Wuxia World and webnovel.com, you're expected to put up like 2,000 words a day. 3,000 words a day. So because of that requirement, all but like the top 1% of writers end up just shitting out slop, and it repeats itself, and so on and so on.
Well, children's authors too, and they use AI art to do that, which is to my next point. My next point, they'll write like 100 books a month. Doesn't matter how many they sell, because they're going wide enough where they're still making like thousands.
Yeah, accuracy by volume.
People talk about AI art. Like I just acknowledged a major problem just now with AI art, but at the same time, everybody's talking about that, but they don't talk about the IRS having access to everybody's bank account at once.
Right.
Not just your bank account.
Everything.
They also spy on Venmo and every other cash transfer app.
Who do you think started that shit, or at least took it over? Like one of those.
I'm glad I live in the literal middle of nowhere, Europe.
Okay. So I need to take a moment from Dark Souls. I've been slaughtered enough times in this area.
Poor James, he got slaughtered while we were talking about the world's problems.
Yeah, so that means you're all on my stream. You need to listen to me and my book that would probably get yeeted from Amazon. That
exactly.
What?
So in my main timeline. My main timeline diverges from our history in 2012 when the world ends.
Yeah, I remember that part. When the world ended, no.
Yeah.
And then for like the next 40 years, it's basically a zombie apocalypse.
Hooray!
That sounds about right.
It's going to be unlike any other zombie apocalypse you've seen, because like obviously 100 years later, there's a thriving cyberpunk megacity, which means that it's not everyone dying.
It's just a fun time for everybody.
Right. So what happened is my current plan of how this all worked out is in order to rebuild when things were really bad, there was like extreme authoritarianism.
Yeah.
Which would have gone very bad and would not lead to a successful city in Bastion. And also people just don't accept it. Extreme authoritarian systems collapse. But they typically need a reason to collapse. So Snow, you may have noticed a small reference. I think I'm probably going to change the name. I think I called him the Jet Set Bomber. I had a one-off line in there.
Yeah.
So right now, the unpublished plan is that quite literally one dude set out on a vendetta and killed enough of the politicians at the time that were responsible for basically American, Mao's communism.
So
Like,
it's just my
kill
main
enough of
character.
them.
You killed all the sparrows.
Killed all the people that don't matter anyway. So.
No. Actually, yes, I caught that.
But yeah,
Right.
killed enough of them that the stranglehold that the politicians had on the people broke, and they bucked it, and everyone forced the government into a much more libertarian paradigm. Because I think it's obvious that authoritarian systems come out of bad times, and the question is, how long do they last?
Well, that part where you're talking about that. Yes, that actually it's not just the actions of one person can change the actions of others, and that point where the tipping point happens, where it just burn it all to the ground. Well, if you wanted an example of that, look at the Uyghur encampments and take a look at those photos where you have 2 or 3 men with guns standing over 1,000 men that are chained.
One lion
and you have to say,
sheep.
what point do you just stand up and go, you know what, screw it, I think I'll die today, but I'm going to take them with me.
It's the scene from A Bug's Life.
You need a hero.
You
need a great man of history.
Something that mass shooters always make me think. Like, if you're gonna do that, at least go to a police station, dude, not a school.
Well, now we're monetized. Okay,
that's an obvious side.
Well, that's the thing. They're
in
Dark Souls
part though, because like overthrowing a horrible government is one thing, but what I want to do, which I think would be a well-received story by the readers, is the idea is the guy that does it, the great man of history there, is basically going to be like Iron Man 1 Tony Stark, where he has like the first prototype of power armor in the setting. And that's what gives him the edge.
That's cool. Great.
Yeah.
Now that's great. The thing I really want to do, though, which should be really controversial, is the first politician he takes out, he has written all over his suit, her. Then the second time, yes, name written all over his suit. Then the third time was, and I think you can see where I'm going with this and why that would be controversial.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing that we have to want, and we will of course want to say this right now for anybody who's listening out there. First of all, go call your mom. Yeah, and second of all, is that the fact is that we are talking here about situations where people are obviously villains. We're talking about killing villains. Anybody who says we're Nazis for wanting to kill the villains, well, we want to kill Hitler too. So let's go ahead and just say that out loud right now. We're talking here about villains, people who make people's lives miserable, who overthrow
evil.
Legitimate
right, but here's the thing: your villains are their heroes.
Evil.
Well, just give me a second. Think of this though. So everybody keeps talking about, it's the end of the American Empire. But I've also heard a very good comparison to the end of the Roman Republic. Yes, exactly.
It's
I know. I think Carl Benjamin picked that up, but I haven't listened to it. But I've seen him make Twitter posts about it.
Actually,
somebody else much smarter than both me and him mentioned it and made that comparison, and I thought it was very interesting because Julius Caesar, could be argued that he wasn't a bad guy. So.
He wasn't.
I don't know how you want to look on that one, but
you can argue any great person is good or evil.
It's like
what makes them great.
Is there going to be an American Caesar? Because we're very primed for one.
Right. Well, I believe that's actually the plan. If you look at the way that in the last few years, how anything has been done, we look at, for instance, when you talk about the model is actually communist China. If we look at Mao's Cultural Revolution, the Chinese people did not rise up and overthrow their own culture. Mao instead enforced a position that your culture will be destroyed and you will watch. That is exactly what you're seeing happen now.
I'm not going to guess whether there will or will not be an American Caesar, but I'm going to say that it'd be really fucking funny if it was a shiesty businessman.
Well, if he was chosen, that you would notice that that he would have certain factions that would be on his side, and that would be very important. That person that would come up and rise up as the American Caesar would have the press on their side.
Caesar
and that's one of the
factions.
And you should always ask yourself, is this person accepted by the powers that be? If they are, then they're not your guy.
Well, here's the thing. I'm gonna say this in Roman terms again.
I'm still on that too.
If the Senate owned all the news agencies, then they wouldn't be on Caesar's side when he was crossing the Rubicon.
Right.
That's true. That's true. It'll
Yeah,
be different. It's not going to be exactly.
Unfortunately,
it'll be way
a
different,
certain man had the chance to cross the Rubicon and he pushed it out. So
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. Actually, in reality, with this, the proper analog would be if the Roman Republic was still the Republic, but Caesar took over, and the people did not accept him. What would happen then? So, in the case of if the people didn't accept Caesar, how would he still maintain power? It would be because he would simply lock down his enclave. Let's say put a fence around it, and say simply, "I hold the
Build a
seat of
wall.
power," and then they would send out certain troops to go out and to subjugate certain.
somehow I struggle to imagine Caesar as a dementia-ridden pedophile.
Yeah.
Whoa.
In Dark
Put somebody on
In
your mind?
America, I can tell
Well,
I
that's
understand
Caligula.
you struggle as a foreigner, but our politicians are
Caligula.
only over 80 years old.
and only
Caligula.
interested in that.
The
Okay,
boomers
but some
won't
of
give it
them,
up.
but to be fair, some of them don't have dementia.
Yeah, well,
That's the
Caligula
only
is actually the
difference.
proper. We're actually talking about Caligula, a person who is
I'm
clearly
gonna be
mentally
now. I'm
disabled.
gonna defend Caligula here. Most of the
What?
most of the information we have on Caligula is from his
Yeah, true.
political opponents.
True,
And
that is
Nero.
true.
That's very fair. Yeah.
And Nero,
Yeah, Nero is a nut. Yeah. When you look good next to Nero, there's something wrong. But
Okay, Nero fiddling while Rome burned is a myth.
Yeah, that's
There
amazing.
is no
He
evidence
was-
Plenty of
actually happened.
propaganda.
true.
They were
Plenty of
just talking
propaganda.
shit about him because he was too Greek for them.
Well, and here's the thing: we can say this from literally. I can have this argument with somebody where say there was propaganda even in those days that we don't know because the people who are reporting are the people that are
The
telling.
best,
And
yeah,
you turn it right back around, and they go, "Oh, that's not true," because I believe my news agency or
I mean,
whatever
yeah, the
talking
best-
head.
the-
Yeah.
one history YouTuber, Peach Cobbler,
Oh, yeah.
said that
Great
the
name for a
best,
history guy.
yeah, the
Really?
best thing you can hope for with a historical account is for the biases to be obvious, because then you
Yes.
at least know how it's biased.
Yeah.
Because if they pretend to be unbiased, then you have to guess the author's conscious and unconscious biases.
Well, and let me say this: there is a word to be said for actual contemporary histories written by the people who lived then, one from either side.
at
If
the
you can
time,
get one
yeah.
from each side, it's good. And I would strongly suggest that if you haven't, that you all go and get yourselves physical history books that were written, and let's say in the 1950s, but also in the 1850s, if you can find them.
Yeah.
Look for a well-loved book. Don't try to go find one in pristine condition on the internet. Instead, go down to a local library or a local bookstore when they're having their sales. Buy those books off the shelves. Read them. You will be astonished at what you have not been taught and what you told was not true.
Take a picture and then
Yes,
PDF.
you're right. Take the pictures, and if you see it, you can scan it. Just click it. But you need
That's
to
gonna
have
be
your physical copies. It's very important to have a physical copy of what you know is true, because how many of you actually own physical books?
I
I
own
do.
yeah,
How many?
Yeah.
Let's say average.
I
How many?
do.
Yeah.
2 bookshelves.
Like a bookshelf in my
by
room.
the
and
way,
probably
so,
another
like,
bookshelf downstairs.
Tangent here. Anyone writing fantasy should read heavily about the Roman Empire.
Thank
I
you.
agree.
Sure.
I agree.
I highly recommend everyone read. I picked up a copy from like Oxford or something. Cicero's Selected Writings.
Sick.
Yes.
Love.
Perfect.
I kept when I frequented a certain thread on 4chan's Lit board, which is the literature board.
Oh,
board.
4chan. I love
Those
you.
guys
Yeah.
read.
So when I
Uh-oh.
frequented
Hello,
Lit,
Anons.
people kept telling me not me, but I kept seeing read the Greeks, read the classics, and I was like, and I couldn't help but ask, "What do you mean?" And he just listed shit that I read as a kid.
Foreigner.
I ended up I look back at what I read as a child, and it's all either Greeks, it's ancient fables, it's translations of books from the 1950s. Like I read Asimov when I was 11 because that's what my uncle had.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I mean,
it's
America
hard
is
to
waking up.
Yeah.
America is waking up from a centralized education institution because of things like the internet. That's why one of the reasons I think that quote unquote conspiracy theories are so prevalent is because a lot of Americans are waking up to the fact that we've been exposed to so much propaganda and biased views.
It's rebound.
that
It's
they-
a
we
rubber band
haven't-
effect.
Yeah, like we don't know a lot of the classics. Did you know that basic logic and fallacies are not taught in American schools for 12
Absolutely.
straight
They're not.
years? And you tell me why that would possibly be. Like, ask an average American to name 5 fallacies, and they can't. They don't know what that means, and that's a
Well,
problem.
here's the easiest way to describe it. My father actually taught me this when I was very young. Once again, like I said, he was born in another era. I'm literally a throwback. I'm not from this world at this point because my parents were so old when they had me, and I'm so here we are now. I'm 100 years out from my father's birth. So let's talk about what I was actually taught. He said, a person who wants to lie to you in any institution, any shape or form, will tell you something that you believe is true, or something you know is true. Everybody knows the sky is blue, and then they're going to tell you something that you want to believe is true. And people who know the sky is blue would never hurt puppies. You want to believe it's true. Nobody would do such a terrible thing. And then the last thing you'll tell them to do is something you want them to believe is true. And people who wouldn't hurt puppies will always support what their government says. Whatever it is, you make this 3-step. That's the logic thing. So something that they believe is true, something they want to believe is true, and then something you want them to believe is true. This is the 3-step process. You can plug it into almost anything. Now you take this and you use it and you look at it, how it is used in the news today. And almost always this progression is used to make people feel like, well, I have to do this because good people do this thing. They tie it together to make that bridge between what you know is true and what they want you to believe is true.
That is a fantastic structure.
Yeah,
to explain it.
Amazing. However, we're reaching bad person fatigue, so to speak. Like,
my God!
I'm sure you know what I mean.
Fall off the bridge.
Yes.
Like you even the slightest straying from the message gets you called an istophobe of some variety.
Yes.
And we're very, very much at the point where people are going not, oh, I'm not a racist, or no, I'm not a racist, I'm not a sexist. They're not going even, I don't care. They're going, yeah, I am. Thanks for noticing.
Yes, I am. Yeah. Well, because words like racism and sexism, they're just they put a spin on it to make it negative.
Like,
well, no,
you're
like
seeing...
racism and sexism are neutral terms. I know that there are arguments out. Well,
no,
racism was created.
The term racism was invented recently. It's very new.
I understand that. I that's exactly what I was about to say. But if you look at it from a neutral position, any talk about race or differences in race is immediately negative with the connotation of racism. But that's not true. I can still talk about the differences, the natural diversity that God created all of the different races with. And that is that racist? Yes, because it's about race, about different races.
It's racist to notice
it's now considered
the skin color
negative.
of all the best athletes.
Yeah. Well, look at what's happening with the sexes. Okay, now I'm going to be honest. One of the reasons why Jason likes Watcher the Dam so much, because Watcher the Dam is actually a romance. The core of the romance, and the reason that I've had such a positive response from people that read romance, it is in part a romance, not all of it. Most of it's shooting guns and killing people, but there's romance in it, and it's because it talks about the divergence between male and female, about the differences. I got yeeted from a wonderful contest. I mean, it was one I was really excited to be in. I got yeeted. The word was actually used was yeet. Y-E-E-T. They actually used this in the review. They didn't even finish the book because they heard one word. They said, because I said the prompt, fertile, life-giving creatures once known as women. They said fertile was a yucky word. Yes, by God, I certainly was because so much of the book deals with infertility and the devastation that occurs when a society decided to sterilize its people to the point that they could no longer reproduce.
But, you remind me.
No, that is the most ridiculous complaint about your book, because literally the premise is most of them are no longer gendered.
That's like, hold on, that's like saying that using the word infertile is yucky in Children of Men. It's stupid.
It is. There's no reason to say that.
These same people will give 5 out of 5 to Handmaid's Tale and pretend that it's not just porn.
Yeah. Well, no. We talk about we talk about everything else. We will not talk about the fact that men and women are different. Not only that, but people respond to that. You want to know why romance is dead? Actually, dead in the water. They're in a crisis mode. We have smut. We have smut.
I was gonna say true romance is dead. It's all lit porn.
It's all done in a different version. The reason why, because you can't talk about the divergence between men and women. So you'll say it's a werewolf and a woman, or you'll say they crave it. They actually go out and look for something where these sexes are different, but they disguise it as something because they can't say anymore that men and women are different. And Watch Her Down, there's a man.
Also have a lot of you also have a lot of men. You also have a lot of fiction, a lot of romance for men has the woman as monsters.
Yes, and it's because they're allowed to say they're different.
Yeah, I often see the reason being that
the monsters on the outside, not the inside.
Yeah, the monsters on the outside.
Mm-hmm. That's
monsters
right.
like cat girls.
Yes.
No, so monsters like the Beast from Beauty and the Beast if she had big titties.
Yes, and they're just subverting the natural process of saying, "Oh, I want men and women to be different." They disguise it as something else so they can talk about divergence.
Yeah, I don't think they're subverting it. More than anything, they're protecting
or
it
they're
from the toxic environment.
Yeah, they're rechanneling it so it can be said.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're not allowed to say it anymore. You're not even allowed to put it in a video game where a woman looks like an actual woman or a man looks like an actual man. But instead, they create this being that's in the middle, and there's nothing wrong with that person in the middle. But
I remember seeing a post recently. From some black guy that's involved in like movies and games. I don't remember his name, but he was talking about how
couldn't model an attractive black woman.
Yeah, he was talking about how hard it is to get an attractive black woman in any game because like 10 iterations down the line, they all look like what was the term? Like
library aunts, I think he said.
Lizzo.
Yeah,
no, not Lizzo. Library aunts.
Yeah, they all look like that bug-eyed actress that they put in everything.
But that's because the AI actually pushes it towards these celebrities that they choose. They're deliberately forcing it that way. There are beautiful women out there. I'm not really. I don't know what you call me because I'm mutt basically. But there are beautiful women of every color and every race, and even if you make them fat or skinny or anything else, there's still a beauty to them.
Well,
they're being denied in these pictures because they aren't making them look like women. They're not women.
By all odds, you're probably a unicorn because you have red hair.
Yeah. But, but no, that's the truth is that there is a beauty there. The reason that you're not able to see is because they do literally make the faces look like men's faces.
Because beauty is profaned and not permitted.
Yes, but they're changing the faces. One of the things
I've always I don't remember who said this first, but I've been repeating it since. The reason beautiful female characters are becoming increasingly rare in Western productions is because hideous human resources hags have taken control.
Well, and you ask yourself why are they changing the way that people look? This is beyond the good part.
Culture. Yeah. They want to terraform culture itself.
Well, they want to terraform culture and they push you away from reproduction. How do they push you away from reproduction? They give you something that's unattractive to you. They tell you if you want something attractive, you've got to go over here. Yep. Yes. You go to you're only allowed to see it in pornography, but everything else you're pushed away from it. They even push it so far as we have a thread that just came out yesterday where women are using plastic surgery at 20, 22 to create faces that don't look human. They don't
like
look
that chick that played Starlight in The Boys. Oh my god!
I'm gonna say
that poor girl.
I think
beautiful.
The reason all these Hollywood actresses are getting hideous shit like buccal fat removal is because the people casting them are mostly not straight men who like beautiful women.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's that classic. All the men in.
It's like the same reason. Exactly. It's the same reason why all the women in fashion look kind of weird and why they're all twigs. It's because the ones casting them are not straight men; they're gay men.
Right. Yeah. Right.
And like I said, there's a preference. People do have preferences. They have things they love. When you let them see what they love, they gravitate towards it. Why are they deliberately repulsing men away from the things that they have loved? Why are they changing the way that men approach women and women approach men? Why have they put poison in the well so much that people won't even talk to each other in real society?
Because polarizing the society means that people will fight each other horizontally instead of grouping up to fight vertically. They started doing this shit. They started doing this because of Occupy Wall Street.
Yes. Well, there's so many things behind this, but when you look at how that
online dating, forget it, dude. Like, that's such a shitty thing anymore. Like, it has ruined just natural relationships. It's terrible.
It has. Well, and the other thing is that it was deliberately designed to drive a wedge. I got news for you. Men,
oh my God, yes, Dino.
Men need women. Women need men.
Dino made a great comment.
And they don't want us to have each other. Man. But the biggest thing I ever learned was from 4chan. I lurked on 4chan.
Oh,
I know you're on.
Yay!
Hold on, you're on.
Hold on.
Yay!
Hold on.
Hey, what's up?
Give us a second. Arch knows what's talking about 4chan.
Yeah.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
I was actually hearing about the discussion about when it comes to like the uglifying women in video games.
Yeah.
I'm actually a 3D modeler, so.
I want you to talk about how hideous touch star sex freaks.
Okay, this is actually like a couple things that I noticed. Like, one, the skull shape is actually a man, but they're putting a woman's face on it.
I knew it.
Yes, that. Another case is looking back at some other games. One is LA Noire, which was one of the first that did a lot of these motion capture scans. Mm-hmm. The women there look actually like women, and this was done in 2011.
Yeah. Notice in a lot of these cases, when people eventually dig up the original scan model, she looks fine. She looks normal.
Even like that one black lady that they always cast. If you actually look at her face, she's actually pretty normal. If not,
it's almost like 6'7".
Right.
Another case is the cameras that they're using. Depending on the lens of the camera, that will actually warp how your face looks.
There's the wider scan. It actually warps the central plane of the face.
It does.
All right. The host would like to interrupt. It's time I show something else. Also in the description of this video, there is a link to a Guilded server, which is mine. And that is where I host my book club, which everyone is invited to. It's a good time. This month, we'll be doing a live stream in like 2 weeks. The book chosen was John Carter by Edgar Rice Burroughs. I think it is a huge benefit to creators that they go back and they read the good books out there, not just like digging up The Handmaid's Tale or something.
Yeah.
So
I have not
read it collectively, one book a month. I haven't actually cracked into John Carter yet because I try and read it right before the stream so I can sound halfway intelligent. But if that sounds interesting to any of you, you should join the Guilded. And the book club's a good time.
Yeah, I'm over halfway through the second book.
Sweet.
I'm looking forward to it. As you can see, I've got it.
Yeah.
Paperback. They can't edit this.
And one nice thing is technically the Princess of Mars, Gods of Mars, World of Mars, and all of them are in the public domain, even though John Carter's still trademarked by Edgar Rice Burroughs.
The books themselves are old enough.
The books themselves are actually in the public domain, so you can actually find these books for free. Like, I've been actually reading them off the Internet Archive. So
that's something I try to do with the book club is I try to pick books that the average person should be able to show up to their local library and pick up a copy.
Sweet.
It's not like I'm just picking random indies that I like and saying, "Hey, buy these books." Here's 15 sales that I just got an indie friend. That's not what I want to do with the book club.
Right.
But yes, when they scan models for video games, they do seem to intentionally uglify them. Although sometimes it is bad lighting, and I think the average person doesn't realize that posture and smiling and having good lighting is 2 to 3 points of good looking.
There's that.
It's true.
But then again, going back, LA Noire, the first game did it right. Kingdom Come Deliverance, which that was a indie studio at the time, This was back in 2018. Did it pretty good. And from what I've seen of the trailers for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, they got it on point again. So again, these AAA studios don't have an easy excuse other than a combination of either malice or competency.
Right. Right. Yeah, I mean the whole thing you said about putting the face over the skull seems like a pretty cut and dry, sneaky way to do it that they could probably get away with a lot. So
That's
one thing. Yeah.
Let's see. Fable 4.
It was super obvious with He-Man. The edits where they just they just changed her haircut slightly and like toned down the lipstick, and it was like clearly a male had been drawn.
Yeah, I think it was Fable 4, some of the promotional material for that.
All right, with Fable 4, I'm actually open to the idea that it was a shit take. Like they were basically shit posting with that character.
Possible, yes. Possible,
they actually found the model, and it's another case of they butchered a actual beautiful woman.
Bring back Snow. Bring back Snow.
I didn't
bring back Snow. Bring back Snow.
I think she might have had some connection issue because didn't she say she was on her phone?
On her end.
Yeah, she sounded like she was on her phone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what you were saying about the Roman Republic falling nowadays, like, really resonated with me because that reminded me of something I heard about, like, they actually just transitioned into the idea of like the Catholic Church, so that would actually explain the whole attack on Christianity happening.
The thing is, the Romans didn't notice the Republic falling because it didn't happen all at once.
Yeah, it was.
I would argue the Republic could be, or no, not the Republic, but the Empire at large. Is the Rome as an institution, as a country, as a nation, as an ethnicity, etc., could be argued to not have fallen ever at all because it persisted up until the 1500s.
Right.
As
are you talking about Byzantine?
Yeah.
No, as I say, like right around 500,
Rome
that was
persisted
that's Rome fall, but East Rome remained.
Yeah, Byzantine isn't a republic.
Well, you could, and you could also argue. Look at our founding fathers; they were huge fans of the Roman Empire and the Republic
in
and
fact,
stuff. Look at our buildings, our monuments.
They actually were even aware. Many, like I think Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, they were very aware of the parallels between the founding of the United States and many of its philosophy and of the Rome Republic.
Yeah, they were students of the Enlightenment. They were well versed in the classic.
I mean, Cicero was a major influence.
There you go.
So I'm reading Aristotle's Politics right now. It is extremely obvious they based the Constitution on his writings.
Yeah,
I mean, not surprised.
We are the Romans. We are Romans, guys. I'm just saying.
I mean, we are sometimes referred to as the Fourth Rome.
Yeah. Well, it's not far off when you think of all this stuff, like, I mean, sure, they're not like born in Italy of like a direct bloodline descent of like Caesar himself or whatever, but they're well versed in like Roman philosophy and everything about it, and like based all of our founding principles. Or not all, but many. So you could, there's an argument to be made, is all I'm saying.
Oh yeah,
that's all. Fourth Rome is pretty on point.
Hey, by the way, Axel, why did you say that this area was too much for me?
Because it was when I said it
a second ago.
Because it was true when I said it.
So James has gotten good.
Well, no, the Tower of Flame is famously the first wall of Dark Souls 2 where a lot of people go the first thing and then eat shit. So it's kind of a matter of he got better, but also he leveled up, and it's the Dark Souls cycle.
Okay.
Dude, getting the fire longsword was so critical. It's actually unbelievable. How do I kill the dragon, by the way?
Stab it in the heart.
I don't remember.
I can't get to the dragon without it breathing fire.
Yeah, that's what why I don't remember. I do know you can get past him, but I don't know why. I think I actually killed it by just shooting arrows at it.
I don't think I've even found a bow yet.
Right. I don't think I thought there wasn't even stuff like that. Well, is there like some cheeky way, like he unlocks an area and then activates a ballista somewhere?
No,
like...
you literally need to just shoot arrows at the dragon from outside its breath attack range.
Gotcha.
The same thing happens in Dark Souls 1 and in Dark Souls 3. There's always one dragon that you can kill by piddling at it with arrows.
Gotcha.
If I cut off its tail, do I get an overpowered sword?
No.
No, you get a chance for a play.
That's part of early Dark Souls.
There's only, I think, tail cutting is only in Dark Souls 1 for weapons.
But the Monster Hunter aspect.
Yeah, but because so few people actually figured it out.
Yeah.
But get good.
Yeah, right.
I'm pretty sure you can cut the tails of some bosses in later games, but they don't drop anything.
Yeah. There is a dragon in my comic.
Disappointed.
And
I have a bunch of dragons.
Well, it's the reveal. It's the reveal of dragons in my world, because there's not a dragon at all in my novel, and they're actually all the characters speculate about dragons here and there. You know.
Yeah. In Retribution Engine, I made dragons into ancient biological super weapons, and almost all the dragons that my main cast encounters are descendants that like got thinned out because they basically traded the ability to actually exist as animals for sheer power.
Sick. Mine are going to be sheer biological, like dinosaurs. You know, like evolution.
I have dinosaurs, but I haven't used many of them.
Maybe like somebody intervened with their genetic evolution at some point, but yeah, they're just going to be like primordial. You know,
very cool. Oh yeah, one of my lesser dragon descendants. I ordered dragon descendants empowered by how many eyes they have. So the weakest ones have no eyes. The weakest ones have no eyes. They're basically just animals. And
that's super unique.
The weakest ones that actually have like proper dragon powers and magic have one eye, and they use that eye as like a focus for their magic.
Yeah.
And then you get to 3 eyes and 5 eyes and 7 eyes, and they always have one extra eye, and that's where most of their power is. That's their dragon stone, so to speak.
So it should have been the eye. And then...
7. The Sephiroth goes to 9, I think.
Yeah, the true dragons have 7 eyes.
You got to sneak some sort of dick joke in there with the one-eyed serpent type dragon.
I think I made a joke at some point like that.
Okay, good.
I might have. I don't know. Anyway, one of my one-eyed dragons is an Ankylo dragon, which, as you may have guessed, is an Ankylosaurus.
Ooh. Wait, that sounds familiar. What is that?
That's one of the armor dinosaurs with the club on the tail. North America, Europe.
Dragons are basically Ankylosaurs, but they also have 2 giant arms coming out of their backs that are wings without membranes, basically.
Okay.
Cool.
And
That's interesting.
So they use their magic to bring, and they have earth magic, obviously.
Yeah.
So they use.
And Kylosaur being Earth.
Yeah. They bring their magic out of. They use their magic to pull rocks out of the ground or just compact dirt into boulders, and they throw them. Physically throw them at the speed of cannonballs.
That's fun. Earth magic. Earth. The closest thing I get to that is this object called the element. It's just like a necklace. It looks like a necklace, but all my magical objects are suspiciously tool-like in their function. But anyway, the user can use their voice to control plants. And all the items work as crazy fantasy, super futuristic sci-fi batteries also, if you want to think of it that way. So you can also just kind of release the energy. I actually have the character that in the story that it's in. She just screams and then a lightning bolt just shoots out of her mouth, basically.
Very good.
Yeah. And you can, and since you can release energy, you can absorb it, right? So we're talking fires, vibrations, and this character even has gotten to the point where she can take life force out of like a person and like refill the battery, so to speak. So yeah, it's
Okay,
pretty.
so
I love it. Yeah.
Here's the question for you guys. Do you think I have done myself a disservice with my epic fantasy that while there are dragons, they kind of aren't the main threat because I choose to focus more on biological demons?
No, you haven't made yourself the service.
I mean, Tolkien, like in Lord of the Rings, I mean,
right?
There are like implied, like, oh, there are like dragons to the north.
Yeah,
extremely rare, but like they're not the main threat.
Dragons are always kind of a side thing, I find. Almost always, dragons are very significant, but also in the background. So they're kind of like earthquakes.
Yeah, it's like dragons don't always have to be the main focus. What?
Except unless of course the story focuses on dragons, obviously.
Yeah, it's like a natural disaster or something. Yeah.
Is it 100? It's not 100. Right. It's dog shit. Throw it away.
I mean, can't I sell items at some point?
You can sell them right now. There's a merchant in Majula.
Oh! I don't have to like unlock the worm, dude. That's nice.
No, you do. You have to find a dwarf.
Surprise!
You have to find a dwarf who says wheel and deal. And that's your selling merchant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I can't sell yet.
No. I remember.
Also, Emily, I have perfect frame rate like locally. It's just StreamYard really bottlenecks you if you're not paying.
Yeah.
I figured as much.
So hey, Dino, do you have a Twitter? Do you have a Twitter or anything else?
Yeah, I have a Twitter. It's Nichols_CL. I haven't done much with it. I just actually add a bio description kind of thing.
Yeah.
I've just like only but I'm planning on when I actually start
is in Nickelback? Nichols?
No.
Oh shit.
It's what I plan on when I start releasing books, when I actually write more. That's not fan fiction.
Okay.
That would
Twitter,
be the
Twitter is a great marketplace, by the way. So I would encourage you to kind of interact.
Yeah, I have a Twitter, but I almost exclusively use it for.
Hold on, I'll send it in.
So you should post on my post all
do
the
that,
time.
please.
What are you talking about?
Please.
Yeah.
You should like and post on all of his posts.
There, I just dropped it in the chat.
Retweet them as well.
Got it.
Inner chat, not the public.
I will copy it in next time I'm at a bonfire.
All right.
You mentioned that you're a 3D modeler.
Yeah, I've been doing it ever since I was 11.
Nice.
So, well, I mean, I was homeschooled, so I have a lot of time on my. I had a lot of time on my hand. Found Blender and been at it ever since then.
Very fucking good for you.
Yeah,
good for you.
Yeah,
the same thing. I got a question for you. How old are you, if you don't mind saying?
25.
All right, and you were homeschooled. What were some of the pros and cons? Because I'm homeschooling my kids right now, and I'm just interested to see what you have to say.
Sick.
It honestly, it varies upon the individual. I loved it. Granted, I spent about 3 years in a public school from first to third, and then I was in a private school beforehand. So it was from fourth grade onward, I was homeschooled. I found it great. There was kind of maybe one thing I kind of wanted to do ROTC, which I could have done if I was part of a co-op or I know some people, they go to a high school for half their classes or stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I found it great, but then again, it varies upon what's best for for me, it worked great. I know some people that trying to learn any home environment, that's not best for them.
Does that reflect more on the kid or on the parent?
Probably a combination of both. It's
Makes
just
sense.
there are some kids I know that they're smart, but they would have a much better job learning in sort of a like a quote unquote traditional environment than like a private.
Sure.
But like I loved it, and
yeah, I mean, we do
I
a
don't
mix
have
of
any
stuff,
regrets.
except for my kids don't seem very interested in going to public school, so I'm fine with that. But like, you know, and we do co-op stuff and whatever. But like, you know, I'm just trying to see what somebody, because I homeschooled after I had already been in school, and then I just dropped out and did like a, you know, back in the day in the 90s, it was like, you know, you just did a mailing curriculum. And it's very different.
My uncle, he did that.
Yeah.
Granted, he had like all kinds of like doctor's appointments and stuff with like skating and stuff that it just do the whole mail-in thing.
Right.
But
but yeah, you liked it overall?
I liked it overall.
Would you say that you got a good education, better education?
Way better.
Maybe. Yeah. Okay.
Sick.
I mean,
you were doing 3D modeling. How bad could it be?
What was it that you think was that made it better? Like I'll let you answer. What do you think made it better?
Well, this kind of goes back to like when I was in a public school. I was doing so well that I was like literally bored in class. There was like one time we were going over currency, and I already had learned it in kindergarten at a private school. We went over in first grade. Second grade, we're going over currency again, and I'm like, I already know this, and I turned my back on the teacher.
Oh, that must have gotten you punished.
As you did.
And also like, but like that was like one case of like, and so like I wasn't like rehashing the exact same thing year after year. I wasn't like I could like sleep through class and answer everything. I wasn't spending like 8 hours in a building when I can get my stuff done in 20, like most of my school done, let's say theoretically 2 hours. And like, and I wasn't coming home with like hours upon hours of homework.
Exactly.
And then like, and then when I say to the teacher, hey, I can't, like, and then I would say to the teacher, hey, I can't complete this in like, you're like, oh, you should be able to complete in like 30 minutes. Like, no, it takes me like 2 hours to do it. And it's like, no, no, that's a you problem. Like, are you sure?
Yeah, they expect you to just not
seems
sleep.
Like it just seems like, you know, with today with the internet and information just being at the touch of your fingertips, or even just buying books. Like, you know, we have a shit ton of books around our house, but like information is so available that, and plus all of the curriculums that are available to how you want to, like what looks good, what's good for the kid and how they learn. You know, it's not just put into a, you know, sit down, you know, we're going to go over this stuff. So, I don't know. Just, it seems so much better and easier. I know people have issues with it. They say finances or whatever, but I don't know. I think that it's
it's way cheaper. Like you could do like a whole year of education for like less than $1,000.
Yeah,
like per
easily
grade, which it takes on like average like 11,
nothing to do with
15,000
money,
per student.
Everything to do with lazy parents not wanting to deal with having to teach their own kids.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is.
I mean, but
there's
also
school
like
as daycare.
Like a lot of families, they argue against homeschool because it's dual income, and they say, well, but you know, one of us, you know, has to give up an income. Or do a part-time income.
It also has to do with the fact that because they themselves are not willing to do it, you doing it makes them look bad by comparison because your kids are not being smart.
I know what you mean. Yeah. But like at the same time, it's like you know, if you're willing to do that, what are you willing to sacrifice to get it? And I don't think a lot of people are ready to have that conversation. And I've seen that more than anything.
I mean, of course, well, you're America, you're the generation of boomers reverse financing their houses. And they gambling it away rather than give it to you.
Oh, that's like the dumbest fucking thing ever.
Yeah.
That's like, that's about like as bad as Cash for Clunkers, but for real estate.
Cash for Clunkers was just a giant psyop to destroy the secondary market.
I know. And also it ruined cars. Thanks, Obama.
Right. Dino, Evely in the chat here, he says, was it hard to meet ladies or, you know, friends, significant other people?
like ladies, I'm a sexless virgin, so obviously guestless virgin. So I mean,
Well,
but then again, I don't go out.
That's what people go to
again,
the
more
stream for.
introvert.
Brutal honesty.
But then again, I'm also much more of an introvert. As in, like, guys, is like
as most wizards are.
Yes.
You have to imagine, like, for instance, my kids, they go roller skating group, on Fridays.
Yeah, they go to a co-op.
They do different like co-ops. Yeah, my kids are involved in church because my girlfriend's
my friends at church and such like that. I mean, I come from very religious. My dad's actually a pastor, so I'm technically a religious kid.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, like, I grew up around that. I mean, I'm still in contact with one of my friends. And he was homeschooled. Actually, most of my coworkers are homeschooled.
Well, there you have it. Church.
That's crazy. That's interesting.
Away from the
well, I mean, I work for like a small company, and they only like hire like, oh, I know this guy, that kind of thing.
It's so strange to me now because after dropping out and homeschooling when I was a teenager, and I mention it throughout my 20s and even into my 30s. They would look at me weird if I was like, yeah, I was homeschooled, and they would just look at me strange, like.
Well,
like
I mean, I get all kinds of strange looks, in general.
Today, it doesn't seem so crazy. Now it's like if somebody, like we have our kids out doing something, with the kids.
No, you gotta be
some adults like, oh, what grade are you in, or what are you doing out of school? They used to get that before the COVID lockdown bullshit, and they'd be like, "Oh, we're homeschooled," and some people would be like, they'd start looking at them enviously or questioningly, whereas like back in the day, it'd be like, "Oh, you must be retarded,"
Oh, actually,
crazy different.
From people like some of my friends that I did have for like a couple of years, like, oh, I met them back when I was in elementary school. We still remain in contact, but they later moved away. But I was like, oh, dude, you're so smart. They'd be like that.
Right.
Also, Emily, you got to be careful with those pastors' daughters. Some of them are like freaks.
Uh-oh.
You so
You got to be careful.
I'm losing the will to continue playing Dark Souls.
I was going to say that line, but no. God's loophole.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I can think of several indies who could have a use for a 3D modeler. So you should get on X and join us.
I mean,
make some money. Get your name out there. Find a lady person.
Yeah. Market. That's one thing in this.
I ought to try to work more on my ArtStation, getting more stuff up there.
Yeah.
In this indie sphere, at least half of it is marketing and networking. Just the first half is creating it, and then you have to like find people who are interested and want to buy it.
I've been sitting fucking going back and forth ping-ponging in editing of my book that I've come to the realization that it's more than half.
There you go. Fair enough. I'm not going to argue against that.
Actually creating it is like
when are you guys going to pick up my fantastic fantasy isekai novel, Low-Key Connections? Huh?
There you go.
Link in the description.
Yeah. Always be closing, gentlemen.
All right.
Yep.
Back my comic.
Merchandising.
Come. That's the way.
That's where
Nice
the real
grip,
money is made.
Thank you.
Man, it would be fucking cool to have a minifigure of my main character.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, like I was saying to Craig earlier, man, like it's possible. He has 3D printers, like he said, but I was bringing up like tons of people online who are trying to dodge the secondary market for mini games.
Yeah, like I've heard about like the whole like Warhammer 40K and that shenanigans. Been hearing stuff about like BattleTech, Wizards of the Coast with D&D. So I mean, like I've been hearing that kind of stuff.
If they can make you a little mini like D&D like figure, then they can make you a bigger one that's like a statue, right, or whatever you need. Just it probably just wouldn't be an action.
It varies upon this like the scale of the printer and such.
Go and commission someone to model my main character for a couple $100. I could like just set aside money to do that, but I unfortunately cannot justify doing it because A, I don't have a 3D printer, and B, I cannot paint miniatures for shit.
That's fair. Yeah.
You also would need reference images.
So,
That's
Yeah.
true.
yeah, I mean, I have reference images. I can dump 5 different art of the same character on you right now if you want.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's
The
why
means are
most
there.
That's why most of my Patreon money ends up going to art commissions, because those are very digital compatible, so to speak.
Yeah, they really help with marketing. All right, guys, I gotta be real. I've lost the will to continue playing Dark Souls. 3.5 hours.
All right. Thanks for having us, boss.
If you guys want to go down the list and give some closing advertisements for yourself. Obviously, I'm James Craig. I'm an independent author. You should know my stuff. My books are in the description. I've got cyberpunk. I've got fantasy. I've got comedy. And I've got the book club in there. Akaso, you've been talking about Chernocaster a lot tonight. The link was in the chat earlier.
Yeah, it was in the chat earlier. I mean, fortunately, the name Chernocaster is distinct enough that if you just Google it, it will show up. So there's that. It's kind of cyberpunk. It's more of a tech noir thriller. The setting it's kind of cyber, but not cyberpunk in the traditional sense. You'll have to read it to figure out what it is.
Previously on this stream was R.H. Snow, the writer of the Watcher of the Damned series, which I previously reviewed. I actually rather liked the book.
Yeah.
So you should check that out on Amazon and its competitors. It is post-apocalyptic, bit of romance, bit of a lot of stuff in there, and it's very well written.
Seconded. We back
Mr.
her.
ASOS. You've got a live Fund My Comic, and I think you're also on the bigger sites, right?
Yeah, I'm on Amazon. I got a book up there. Got a novel on the way. Yeah, I got a band you can check out on YouTube, podcast, multiple shows that I host weekly. But the main focus right now is this comic. It's going to be live for 3 months, and it's with Luke Stone, the founder of Fund My Comic. So, we're in close connection, adding rewards to it constantly, just kind of like building it as we go. The goal is to just make the graphic novel happen, like make the book exist. And from there, just build quality everywhere beyond that. So check it out. It'd mean a lot. So thank you.
Dino, I got your Twitter handle into the chat a second ago.
Yay. Yeah, so
we will convince him to become the indie modeler soon enough.
I also aspiring game developer. I've actually decided to restart a project I've been working on and kind of put it on the back burner because I was having issues of importing it from Godot 3 to Godot 4. Now I'm trying to rebuild it in Godot 4. So I've just been starting that. As well as I'm also an aspiring writer. I have a couple ideas. I have a couple of drafts. So I might be publishing stuff. I don't know when.
Do it.
Yeah. Just get it out there.
Yeah.
You got to get something out there to get feedback.
I know.
So you can improve.
And speaking of getting things out there, I have Immortal Rising #2 campaign coming up soon. I'm looking at an August launch. It will feature issue #1 and issue #2. I'm going to have them as 50-page graphic novels individually, as well as I'm going to try to break down the stories into individual floppies and sell them at a lower price. And so, if the $20 for the graphic novel collection isn't good, you just pick up the floppies as you like. I'll also be offering a couple of ash cans that I did, some short stories that I did. I did a anthology with Luke Stone's Arrow Comics. I put in it's like a 7-page story. It's black and white with the same artist, Jose Garcia, We do everything together. At least he does everything for me.
Yeah.
Whatever. And then also an ash can of, I think it's like an 8-page story. It's called Immortal Rising Tales. It's a story that's set in the universe, but is not attached to the main story. And that was actually featured in Anvil Magazine #2. So I had him whip up some covers for those, and I'll be offering those as additional ash cans. And I'm kicking around an idea of offering shirts as well. So, and a box. So just kind of figuring things out. But yes, I believe I'll be doing shirts, a couple shirts as well.
Very cool.
Yes.
That's one of the things I want to do when this channel gets monetized is get a Teesprings going with some book related shirts.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, merch is king, man. Just because, like, I've found that people, if they like you for whatever reason, and you don't have an immediate product for them to contribute to, you're losing out. You know, they want to help you. There's a lot of people who want to help you, and if that means buying a T-shirt, they will. So yeah, definitely. I totally encourage that, James.
Yeah, that's what my.
By the way, I want to say this, James. Sorry to distract. The haircut is looking good, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
you're looking very classy, and you got that cool ass coat. I like it.
It is so cold in my basement right now.
Yeah,
like I do love this coat, but I am actually freezing to death down here.
Oh, the huge lapels is great.
Yeah.
I love that. Yep.
And I have to have a fan running.
I throw some out there.
Yeah, I did. But yeah, that what you were saying, Aaron, is kind of like what my campaign's going to lead to, is like a Teespring store and stuff. You know, being able to do all that, just being able to join in with on all that. So.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, just let people help you.
Yeah,
they like you, they'll help you.
I'm trying, man.
Like a lot of the people around our, around our spheres, they want to. Well, first of all, they don't like corporate mainstream stuff. They are looking for people like us, and just give them something to help out with. Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry, Jim.
Amen.
No, I was just chilling.
It's the chill hour.
Yeah,
I mentioned earlier that I finished all the writing and all the editing to Bastion Blackstone 3. I do want to point out that my Tech Noir series is standalones. You don't need to read the earlier books. They all are complete stories. And you can pick up Gamma Coin Book 2 right now in the link below. Or you can go back to my debut. That's good too. And with that, I'm wrapping up this stream. Thank you all for tuning in, and to those of you who joined, thank you very much. It was a great, it was great energy to talk with.
Yeah,
right on.
Yeah,
thanks for having me on.
Been fun
and nice meeting you guys.
Yeah, nice meeting you too.
Peace.
Headphones.